Tom Vassel's top 100 games of all time. DRC, voice of the people.
Hello, everybody. I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Mike Delisio.
I'm Roy Kennedy.
And I'm here too.
All right, welcome to our top 100 games of all time. We're in the top 40, 40
Top
to 31.
40 hits.
All night long.
These are all so good.
The greatest hits from the 80s, 90s, and today.
Where did the top 40 come from anyway? Was it, you could listen, 40 times 3 is 120, so you fit it in 3 hours somehow? I don't know.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I don't know why it's 40.
Right, where did they get that number from?
No clue. That's an interesting question. You should put it in tomorrow's
Correct.
game show that you're doing
Ah.
in Board Game Breakfast.
That's right.
Come back for
Okay,
that.
if you are watching this right now, we are running a Dice Tower Kickstarter, which you can find at dicetowerkickstarter.com. So a couple things we wanted to talk about the Kickstarter. Yesterday we hit our goal of 250K, and we said we'd be flying in guests. So the first guest that will be flying in, well, we're going to bring various people from the area around too. First guest we're flying in February will be Rodney Smith from Watch It Played.
The
So-
class is about to jump up in this place.
Either that or we'll drag him down.
Okay, that works too. That works too.
Yeah.
All right, so that's coming, and we'll be announcing other guests as we come along. Liz Davidson from our channel will be on there too, and so keep an eye out for those. And that's going to start as soon as February. Also, you've been wanting to see the artwork for the playmat. Is that now?
Yes.
So here it is. Take a look. This is the artwork for the playmat in our Kickstarter. All right.
Coming soon
Just have to press the over
to
button
a
on the
theater near you.
Hey!
All right.
Oh!
So
you should
apparently in this one, I'm the villain here, and down there you see Roy, who looks a lot tougher in that picture than he is in person.
What?
Wow.
Z,
Fight me.
I
I
will.
look a lot, and in that painting, I actually look a lot nicer than in person.
And Eric Summer looks very evil, actually. That does look like Eric Summer.
He will switch sides halfway through this movie.
Yeah.
And Suzanne and Mandy, and then Jason with his big brain hiding in the rear. But
I think we need superhero names for everybody.
yeah.
for sure.
Alrighty.
I would like to be known as Red Guardian. Oh wait, that's taken. Sorry, Black Widow movie.
Okay, so anyhow, we're in the top 40 here. So what we're doing now, we have 5 top 10s coming your way. So we really should get started on this. It's going to be me, then Mike, then Roy, and then Z. And then back to your choice, the one that you voted on. With all these, we will kindly listen and approve of each other's choices.
Yeah, that's what we'll do.
Nobody told me about this.
So unfortunately, Mike and Roy put this all together, so they know a little bit of what's coming.
Mike
I
knows
know-
more than me.
But I'm so old, my memory, I have no idea.
I have no idea what's on their list. I have a lot of suspicions. Like, I don't know Mike's at all.
I think Mike's taste lines up with my taste a decent amount.
Yeah, I think you're
So I
right.
am actually really excited. Roy's, I could care less. No, okay, I could probably care slightly less.
I'm about to
than
say, I did
do
a top 100.
if
What
I
was it, like
dead?
3 years ago or something like that? So we'll have to see.
I was
feel
assuming
like
it's a bunch
there's-
of big games.
Oh,
with a
but you're
bunch of
assuming that we watched it.
I know you guys didn't watch it, but somebody out there might have watched it. So
doubtful if true.
Yeah,
I am interested to find out your top 40. So
I am too. I'm excited to see
You
what I
forgot
came
what
up
they
with.
are?
Oh,
You
forgot.
absolutely.
okay.
A couple years ago, you were like, I wonder what.
I know. I did that as a gag. I wrote the top 100, organized it, and then did not list them out. I just had to stack. So I would just look at the next one as it came up. That was fun.
I was afraid it was going to take too long, so I went to randomgamegenerator.com.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I was done in like 3 minutes.
it's all the poop games from that other
Nice.
game
All
show.
right. Let's get started here with number 40. Number 40 has been on my list since the very beginning.
Of time.
Actually, it's one of the oldest games on my list, and I believe it was on your list too. And just like Z, I've changed the name of it to just one word, Balderdash. Before it
Yeah.
was beyond Balderdash, but fortunately we don't have to say that anymore.
Yeah.
The only thing I'll say negative about Balderdash is the current version, which you can buy for a really cheap price, is really cheap. And they don't even give you enough papers inside for a single game.
What?
Really?
Yeah, they're just that. If you're playing with a lot of people, that pad goes. I mean, there's 3 sheets. You're supposed to use 1 sheet per round. No way.
Right.
I just buy a ton of extra little paper for it. And look at those stupid pawns. This whole thing is a
Yeah,
production
cheap.
garbage. But the game is good enough to transcend that.
Yeah.
It's one of those games I just don't care if I ever win, and in fact, I'd be upset if I did. I think.
It's
Because
not,
my answers after a while no longer.
nobody
if you think
should
they're the
really
right
be
answer.
voting for you. Yeah, right. You're now doing inside jokes and repetition of silly things that happened. Yeah, it devolves, but it's hilarious.
And I will never be ashamed of putting a party game in my top 100. Balderdash to those who say otherwise.
I see what you did there.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was super subtle. All right, Mike.
All right, my number 40 is a bit of an outlier, I think, even for the rest of my list. It's a
You only
game-
get 40 of these. You know that. There's no time for outliers.
That's true. Well, this is a game that I was convinced I would not like, and then I played it. It's a big, grandiose game with gigantic. You shouldn't even use the word miniatures.
Yes, I'm down. What is it?
Wait. They're bigger than miniatures?
Yes, they call them
Cthulhu Wars.
miniatures. It's Cthulhu Wars.
No!
Nice.
It's Cthulhu. This is a
These
game.
are macroatures.
Yeah, this was a game that I had
I
to
was
be
going to say
convinced.
Maxiatures.
Yeah. No, that doesn't sound.
That's
good.
awful.
Yeah. This was a game I had to be convinced to play. Actually,
Yeah.
that's a theme for some of my favorite games, is that I was not interested. I did it because I was at a game night and said, sure, all right, I'll give it a shot. You know, you see these huge handfuls of dice and you think there's no way that there can be an actual game here. This is all about these minis. There's a really good game system here. It really is. I was surprised at how much strategy you can get out of a game that relies so much on dice rolling. But the asymmetry, I almost said asynchronous, the asymmetry works well in this because you've got these 6 spell books for every faction, and it gives you something to focus on. It's like, even if I don't know what's going on, I know I need to do these 6 things. And I like having that focus.
It's interesting.
It's a game that if you think you wouldn't like it, you should at least try it once. It's not something to go buy because it's outrageously expensive. But
Right.
if you can get
That's
a
the
chance to
problem,
play it,
right?
Yeah. But if you can get a chance to play it, it really is worth your time.
Have you played the follow-up to this? The Gorantha?
No, I have not. The
thingamabobber?
Gloriantha God's War, I have not played that yet. But I've heard it's kind of an iteration of this. But
I've not played that one either.
Yeah.
Even though it's sitting in the Dice Tower library.
I recently got a copy of this. If I had played this more, it might have had a chance to be on my list. I
Yeah.
just haven't. I've only played it a couple times, so I didn't feel like it was worthy to be on my list yet. But if I play it more, I mean, it's just a simple to play, simple to learn area control
Right.
game with crazy production.
yeah, it's true. It's
I feel like the
absolutely
one
true.
faction's slightly more powerful than the other ones, and I can't remember which one it was.
Then you beat them up. You wreck them.
The Cthulhu faction is easier
player?
to play, I think.
Yes, for picking that faction. Obviously.
I think there are some factions that are easier to play than others, for
Dice
sure.
Tower does not condone beating up other players if you disagree
Especially
with
for
them.
picking different factions than the ones you approve of.
That sounds very. Anyway, go ahead.
You're going to beat somebody up. Beat them up for picking a bad choice in the top 100.
Speaking of which, what do you got?
All right, my number 40 is a game of backstabbing and betrayal. Some might say this is like a not quite diplomacy, but has sort of similar stuff, and that is Game of Thrones, the board game.
Which edition?
You put out, second edition, of course. You put out all the different tokens. And you're like, oh, I'm gonna support you over here, and I'm gonna be nice over here, and don't worry about it. And hey, we should work together to fight here. And then you flip over the tokens, and it can be completely different from what you said.
No, Here's the thing. Now you don't have to lie in this game.
You don't
can
have
still,
to lie
You
in
can
this
still
game.
backstab without lying.
Right.
Hey,
And-
I'm going to backstab you right here.
No. It works like, hey, we'll work. You basically are working together, and at some point you're like, see you later.
I
You
love
just turn
the,
around and hit them.
the house card combat of this, where it's very deterministic, but you're not quite sure exactly how it's going to play out, depending on which house card they play, and they could counteract each other, like kill off some units or defend units, or do some crazy trickery thing where, oh, I put this card back in my hand and do this. There's interesting stuff in this game. You're always bidding with power to try to take over the different aspects to have the fiefdom and different things, so you can get better tokens or have better in combat or be able to break ties, all that different
Do you
stuff.
like Game of Thrones?
I really enjoy Game of Thrones, and I feel like that's probably why this is further up on my list, because I really enjoyed like the last year, just coming in, we were all watching Game of Thrones, we were talking about it, and I just remembered the games that I played of this game with awesome, like the story that plays out in it, and I felt like probably that helped push this onto the list, but I really enjoy that game and the stories that it tells, so that's why it's my number 40, Game of Thrones, the board game.
Haven't played.
Me neither.
You won't. You will.
My number 40 is a party game much like Tom's, and this is one that's been on my list for a long time. Compatibility.
Wow.
Compatibility has been
This is the cheapest game on this list, I think.
If you can
It's
find
at
it.
every thrift store. Everything at a thrift store,
It
like,
might have been.
compatibility.
It honestly might have been at one point or another. I don't think it's that easy to find anymore.
That picture is definitely.
But it
very
has
candid.
been.
Those people
Oh, wait,
are
that's the
having
one with
so
my
much
quote
fun.
on it. It always cracks me up. That is very funny.
Which
That
one?
comment on the back makes you laugh, think. You know, this game, folks, it makes you laugh, it makes you think, wonder. It makes you make tough decisions and feel glad you have your friends and family around you, sometimes all at once. Gotta love that.
This is attributed to BoardGameGeek.com.
Wait, hold on, what?
You are now BoardGameGeek.com.
That is my comment. I saw this one's at a game store. I was like, oh, look, they have compatibility. Cool. I have my copy. I grabbed it, I flipped it over, and I read that, and I'm like, man, that sounds familiar. It literally hit me a little bit. I'm like, why does it seem so familiar to me? So I pulled out the phone and looked up BGG, and sure enough, it's my comment. Because at that time, I rated this a 10.
Wow.
10 out of 10, and they must have just found one and pulled.
So this is what, if you want to be quoted,
Rate a game a
rate
10 out of 10.
and then work really hard on that quote.
I guess. I do like this. It's not rated a 10 anymore. It's largely a one-trick pony, but I do like that trick.
It is hilarious. I wouldn't mind if they made, like I said, new decks for this.
Oh my goodness, yes, that would be fantastic.
We could probably make our own custom ones at some point. They just have to be the same deck for everybody.
It's just one deck 4 times, well, however many times, 6 times, 4 times, yeah. That's
Yeah.
really it. You could even do this, actually, this is the most expensive solution possible, but you could buy, say, like Dixit 4 times and play compatibility with those decks. That'd be pretty cool, right? Wouldn't that be actually
Tom's
pretty
mind was just
interesting?
blown.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah. Huh. All right, anyway, compatibility.
I
A game
can
I
do
still
this.
really enjoy, and that's my number 40.
The People's Choice number 40 was first on the list last year at 65, jumped up to 40. I don't know why it wasn't on the list year before that, but I don't know. Raiders of the North Sea.
Okay.
So Garfield games, I'm sure you're going to see lots of them. I don't know how many of the other ones have been on the list so far, but this is not the highest. Okay. Anyhow, they just do well. For whatever reason, they look good. People like the artwork, their worker placement, which is a very popular thing. It just, the whole thing overall is a good pick. So I'm not surprised at this one, actually. I think the expansions might have helped a bit, but I wonder if we'll see this one fall now that the West Kingdom has shown up.
It's possible. I do think that this is a good entry point to the whole system, though.
I don't disagree.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, that's cool. Raiders of the North Sea.
All right.
We finished one!
Woo!
All right, my number 39 has been on the list for 8 years. Last year it was 73, so it has jumped up, and I don't know why. It's definitely not because of the new collector's edition of this game, because I was annoyed that it took me like 3 hours to put the thing together. I just like the game a lot. Again, I didn't look at last year, and this is Suburbia.
Right.
So Suburbia, fantastic game, and they do have the new big, beautiful collection, which I had to sit there for a long time to figure out how to put all the pieces in. There's a lot of stuff in this game, and I'm still not convinced any game needs a choice of 25 player colors.
Yeah.
Seems like overkill,
little
I
bit.
feel.
Wow. Okay.
Well, they're also different cities. So, like, New York is red, and then, Moscow is mauve or whatever. That's like, well, all right.
Okay.
Anyhow, I do like the city building aspect. Z is not a fan of this one.
I haven't played this game.
But okay.
You're just not a fan of city building in general.
Yeah, but
just
okay,
don't
if you're
have
not a
it.
huge fan of Ludwig, Castle of Mad King Ludwig,
No, I'm not.
and you
right.
don't like city building, then it just seems like a slam dunk.
I've
no
never.
for
I
you.
mean, I might someday sit down and try it, but I'm not necessarily thinking about it or looking forward to that. I have no interest.
The thing that irritates me about this one is when I talk about it and people say, well, it doesn't really feel like a city building game. It does to me. You know, if you put, for example, if you put some restaurants in your city, they'll devalue other people's restaurants. That makes sense thematically. The more airports, the more money everybody makes. I don't know. It felt cool to me. I like it. So, especially with the expansion, the first one.
I'm not a fan. No,
The 5-star.
It's okay. It's okay.
I agree. It's okay.
But what's great?
Am I standing alone?
I'm surprised I'm the one who agrees with you the most because I haven't played it. How about that?
I don't
played
want
it-
your help, Garcia.
I played it once, and it was just
barfed.
the whole like min-maxing the population, all that stuff. It was fine.
Z, I've never envied you more than right now. My number 39 is a cooperative game of
Now we're talking,
brutal,
yes.
brutal difficulty. So brutal that I've never beaten this game.
And he's
Crusoe.
played 156
And I've
times.
played it, double-digit times. I was probably 12, 13 times. Well, if you add the app, it's many more than that, and I've still never beaten it.
Crusoe.
Stories?
Ghost Stories. Yeah.
You've never beat Ghost
I've
Stories?
never beaten Ghost Stories. Now,
Woo!
to be fair,
I don't know that feeling.
What a noob.
I've never claimed to be a competent gamer, but I like it. I like the fact that even though I've never won, I have faced Wu Fang a number of times, and so you get right to the precipice, and you think there still might be a chance, and it has that big, that big exciting, and I'm done. I've lost again, but I don't mind. I love the theme, and that's why I am going to be interested to see how Last Bastion, plays, because it seems to be, from what I hear, a little more streamlined.
You're going to die there, too.
Well, I'm sure I'm going to get crushed. Yeah,
It is more streamlined. It's more streamlined, yes.
Yeah.
And yes, you're missing the theme. Mm-hmm. And if that's a big, big draw for you, then this might ultimately still be your preferred way to play. Mm-hmm. But
I think, you know what, though? That's actually why I haven't run out to play Last Bastion. It looks cool.
you
Yeah.
haven't played it?
No, I haven't. But I love the theme of
I
Ghost
do too.
Stories.
Yeah.
Now, I haven't played with the White Moon, and I've heard that makes it easier.
The slightest bit,
Yeah.
because it also gives you another way to lose, too.
Right.
Yeah, but it also is much more complex of a game.
Oh, is it? Is it? Yeah.
I would
a lot
not
more
play it. Well,
going
yeah,
on.
but he's played enough. I think he could throw
Yeah,
it
I've
in.
played it a bunch. I just haven't played it well.
Gotcha.
So that's my number.
I'm not sure
39.
Mike can handle that.
Ghost Stories.
I also have never won this game, but I've only played it like twice, so
All right. Well,
there's that.
I'm only
Well,
cocky
I've
because
won.
I've won
You've
like
won.
twice.
But how many times have you played it?
Shut up. My percentage is still higher than Mike's.
It is.
Until he wins once,
That's true.
I'm still ahead.
you are.
Yes, that's right. All right, my number 39 is a game that the people actually chose on the last episode, and it is a giant, sprawling, story-ish game with survival and mystical stuff going on, and that is Seventh Continent.
Really?
I really enjoy Seventh Continent. Playing through this, I played through with one of my friends. He'd come over like every day, like once a week, and we played through tons of Seventh Continent. It was really fun.
Wait, just clarify.
Every day, once a week?
I'm confused. Which
Wait,
one
no, no.
was it? One
Once-
week he came over every day? Or once a week?
There was a
on
couple times he
Sunday?
came over days back to back. He came over a lot, and we played a whole lot of Seventh Continent.
There it is.
But it was really fun. We played a bunch of Seventh Continent. It was fun, and I really enjoy the way this game works out, and just the cool thing of the map building out as you go along. The kind of press your luck of you want to do challenges, but you don't want to flip too many cards because you don't want that deck to run out, and you're always like, where do we find food? We have to find food, or we're
Well,
gonna
this would
die
explain
real
why
quick.
you were so enthusiastic about it when it was on the People's Choice yesterday.
Right, I was
thought
trying.
that didn't seem your normal fakeness.
What? What are you trying to say?
Your typical fakeness.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay. But
That we
Have you
see
played the
often.
expansion yet?
I have not played the expansion for
oh,
this.
man.
Expansion, there's a balloon, there's an underwater tunnel.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a couple of those going around the studio, but I don't have the base game, so I can't play the expansion. So, but
The what?
I don't have the base game.
Go to the library and check it out, except it's already been getting ready to be shipped for the cruise, so you have to wait.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. If this is a game that I would
play
either.
this on the
I would
cruise
play it
all the
at,
time.
at a
The
whole
con
time.
either, though. I feel like this
You
is a
played
game.
Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea with 7 people at a con.
Right, but this is a game that I play with 1 or 2 people, and I
But
feel like
those
that's
people would be happy.
Yeah, but okay. But yeah, I feel like for me, this is an experience that I want to dig in and immerse myself in, and it's easier to do that in a quiet setting. But yeah, I really enjoy Seventh Continent, and that's why it's my 39.
All right, my 39 is one of the least attractive games on my list.
Really?
Wow, that's really
Yeah,
tough.
you already had Carpe Diem on you.
And you had all those Onirim games.
Deception Murder in Hong Kong.
Oh,
Really?
What? You think it's that
I don't
bad?
mind this. I don't think it's that bad.
Boo!
There's not a lot of artwork in it for one thing.
That's true.
I don't think there should be a lot of artwork in it. It's your imagination.
Nah, not if I can help it.
You don't like those cards? I think they're very clear. They show the item and that's it. I don't want them to be more than that.
No, you're right. I don't want it necessarily to be confusing, but no, the artwork on this is not that. You know what? I mean, I don't want to knock this game for not being attractive. There's also a billion pieces of artwork in it. If each one was a super detailed Vincent Dutrait piece of art, the game would
be
cost
called
$400.
Museum.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it would also cost $400. You know, so no, it's fine. I really like this game. I've said it before. I'll say it again briefly. I like this social deduction game because to get from that I don't know who I should be accusing, I don't know where I should be looking moment, to finally pointing fingers and calling people out, in this game takes the absolute least amount of time.
Right.
You'll get there in 30 seconds. You know, you go from being given a few clues or being the one giving them to looking around going, they got murdered by this and they're in this location. Come on, man, that's got to be you. Look at your cards. Done. And you're there. You're immediately talking, conversing, fighting, pointing fingers. It gets to it so quickly. It's not Werewolf. Werewolf takes a long time for folks to even start to be like, well, maybe it's Tom because maybe...
Z's always the werewolf.
What's that?
Z's always the werewolf.
No, I've never been the werewolf in any werewolf game.
What's your favorite role to play in
You
this?
just lied.
Of course.
What's your favorite role to play in this? Do you like being the murderer? Do you like being the investigator?
I like being the one who sees the murder.
The witness.
And then...
Do you
And
really?
then I bribe the murderer to take me along.
Ask
on
someone
the
who's
next...
serious that question.
Forensic scientist?
I'm good with whatever, honestly. I like giving the clues, though that's a lot of pressure. Sometimes you get things wrong and people take a clue a different direction and you wish you could be like, no, sorry, reel you back. But being the murderer is fun. Being the accomplice is fun. Knowing who the murderer is and very gently steering suspicion towards them is really fun and subtle. You got to be careful with that one.
Yeah.
I like all of it. Yeah. Being clueless in it, I also like. Knowing I'm none of those things.
You should always have a clue.
I see what you did there. But shut up. Anyway, Deception Murder in Hong Kong I really like. Let's move on. Go. What do you got?
All right, People's Choice.
Yeah.
Was not on the list last year. It was actually 145 and has jumped up to 39.
Wow.
I knew it would, though. In fact, I'm surprised it's so low
How's that possible?
Wow.
because it's a reprint of an earlier game from Martin Wallace that just blew apart the Eurogamer world last year. Brass Birmingham. We had people in
that
our
makes
game group
sense.
who played this every single meetup for the longest time. Although I haven't seen it for a while. That's because the new hotnesses are here.
I played once every day, once a week.
I was just going to say, you took
I'm
my
about to say,
joke.
you didn't even play a full game. You played half a game.
Yeah, but every day, once a week.
Half a game, got up and left. You're like, I hate this.
I
Were
did
you in
not
that
get
game?
up and
I wasn't in
leave.
the game, but I saw Z scurry away and run and dive into a corner.
That makes it sound like I, made a faux pas there. I didn't get up and walk away from the game. I asked
flipped
if
the table.
I could. Then I got up and walked away.
The whole thing was super confusing to me because when Z came in, I was like, hey, Z, we're playing Brass Birmingham. You want to play? And he was like, okay. I was like, wait, what? That was a joke.
That was one of those questions that you're like expecting a completely different answer. And it turned out the way you
Figured I would
thought it
try
would.
it.
Z has never joined a game with me since. All right.
I like Martin Wallace, but I like his newer stuff better, and this is really an old school game.
Got it. All right. That's your number 30. My number 38 has been on this is the third year it's been on the list. It was 24 last year, 31 the year before that. So around in this time frame, this is the highest rated. I'm pretty sure. I don't see why there'd be another one. Red Raven game on my list, and that is Near and Far. Easy choice. This one is that mix of if you know my list, you know that I'm a huge fan of story. Really big fan of story.
Right.
And then a huge fan of good game mechanisms too.
Yeah.
And this does puts them together in a really good way. And I like the book idea of this, where you flip through a book. to go on different maps. I like the twisting story that goes through it. That's not so strong that if you play for the first time, you're like, I don't know what everyone's talking about. Just that, hey, I know that character.
Right.
It's cool. And I just like Ryan Laukatt's world. It's not a typical fantasy world.
Right.
And there's also multiple ways to play this. I like
Yes.
that. You can pick it and follow stories of your character. Or you can go through the main story. Or you can play randomly, which I've never done because I don't care. I think the story involved is really good.
Sure. Have
So-
you played with the expansion at all, the Amber Mines?
Yeah, the Amber Mines. The Amber Mines is a good expansion. I wouldn't say it's amazing
No.
or even necessary. It adds another section to the
like
table.
modular, yeah.
It does add a few. Some of the modules I always play with, although for life I can't remember what they are off the top of my head.
I
but-
like the one that expands the mine out a little bit.
No, that's actually. That one, it adds more stuff
It
to the
does.
table.
It does. It
I
adds
kind
more.
of. My favorite kind of expansions are. You got 30 cards. Here's 10 more.
Right,
That's
right.
usually because they're so easy to put in.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
Either way, it's still good. So my number 38, Near and Far.
This game would be in my top 50. Like it just almost made the list for me. I really enjoy the story in it, but having only 40 games to pick from is super tight. So,
Well, you should have picked a good one.
well, I mean, this is almost good.
Let's wait till you see what your 38 is.
Right,
and
right.
then-
Your 38 now has to be better than Near and
Be much
Far.
better than
Yeah, let's see.
My number 38 is a game that kind of has become my in-between drafting game. If I'm teaching brand new gamers or I'm playing with people that aren't huge gamers and they want to do a drafting game, I'll go with Sushi Go or Sushi Go Party.
Got it.
It used to be Seven Wonders was the next level, and I feel like I've had some difficulty teaching that game to people that aren't regular gamers. You know, for regular gamers, that's a simple game, but for people that don't play a lot, it's a little complex for them. This is the game that I feel like I can take them to the next level. Paper Tales.
I was gonna-
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say Bunny Kingdom.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say Paper Tales.
Yeah.
Tales is pretty good.
This is a fantastic drafting game because it doesn't do anything radically different, right?
Right.
But there's enough different that it doesn't feel like every other drafting game you played with because you've got that whole idea of your front line and your back line. And what I really like about it is how everything is triggered off of a particular phase in the game, and so you don't have to. It takes care of a lot of the mental gymnastics that you'd have to do. It's like, all right, we're in phase one. I'm going to look at all my cards. If it doesn't say phase one, don't worry about it.
Right.
I'm only looking at my phase one cards. Phase two, do I have any of those? Boom. I really, really think this is an elegant game. It's quick, and it scales well. I've not had a bad session of Paper Tales with all different types. Heavy gamers, people that don't ever play games. It's just been a really good, versatile. I can count on this game. It always leads to a good experience.
During the tough times.
That's
Look at my
right.
shelf. Paper Tales is still there.
That's right. When everyone else has abandoned me, I still can cuddle and hold dear to my heart my copy of Paper Tales.
If you go to Mike's,
I'm just depressed now.
you go to his house and it's like on the pillow. You're like,
I gotta go. I agree with you largely. I think the only time it might make a bad first impression is with someone who hasn't played it before and they find it too short.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
I've had that happen to
Yeah.
me, where I teach it to someone and since it's only 4 rounds,
Right.
they are not sure what's happening or how to manipulate the cards they got to do something,
Right.
effective. So they feel like they wasted even 1 round.
Yeah.
That's a quarter of the game.
Yeah, it could be rough.
And so I've had that experience where people go, "Man, it's over? I mean, like, I didn't even get to build anything up."
Sure.
I get it. And it goes away with familiarity. But,
Right.
but yeah. You're right. It's very good.
Awesome. My 38 is an abstract game. What? Roy Kennedy has an abstract game?
we're not reacting
Nobody
till we.
was- nobody
We're not
was saying
reacting till we hear what it is. Because you're like abstract game, Axis and Allies. Because it's really not the war.
I mean, no, I think people would say this is actually an abstract game. It is Onitama.
Oh, you're forgiven. Marvelous game. Good choice, Roy.
I actually really enjoy Onitama.
Yes.
And,
Stop mocking Roy.
And actually,
I'm
one of the
sorry.
reasons it's so high up on my list is because I've currently been playing this a ton. Like, I've been playing the app, and I've been playing it a lot with my kids, and I've been playing, like, every time a lot of the times when I go to cool stuff, I'll grab the copy that they have in the library
Are
there.
your kids able to compete against you in this?
They can't compete against me,
Not if
but
everyone
I
did
can
it.
casually play against them. They can compete against the computer, and then I'll have them play against each other. And with the app,
Okay.
with the app, they can play.
Like Thunderdome, you're an animal.
Only one child eats
Two children
tonight.
enter,
It's
one
so
child
funny because
leaves.
they'll play multiple games. One will win, one will win the other, and the whole time I'm just like, why did you run your sensei right up to the front? Obviously, that was a bad choice. But they have a lot of fun doing it, and we've actually played with the actual copy. I had to help, like, the app forces you to go to certain spaces, of course. You can't cheat in the app.
Right.
In the other game, I
Where's
kind
this
of
leading? You, but
I
you
helped with the
can-
app. It was like, oh, you can go here, you can go here, and here. We teach
Teaching the
that.
kids to cheat, I guess.
No, I'm teaching them how to do it correctly. Because my son was fine. I mean, he's 7 years old. My daughter's only 5, so it was a little bit harder for her to be like, oh, I can only go here, I can only go there.
Did you just have a birthday?
Yeah, he just had a birthday.
Huh. Happy birthday to your son.
Woo! But yeah, and I've enjoyed playing it with them. I've been playing the app a ton. I've been playing it with other people. I played it with my dad when he was in town. I really enjoy Onitama, and that's why it's my 38.
Played
Solid
the
choice.
expansion, the new one with the extra figure.
No, I have not.
I think you would like that. That's pretty good.
Gotcha. Cool.
All right, 38 for me is fairly new. I don't recall if this was out by the last time we did this.
Oh, your last one was 22 last year. Deception.
Yeah, and there's going to be a lot of that because there's a bunch of new stuff here in the top 40 for me.
Ooh, I'm so excited. Anyway, go ahead.
My 38 is a game called Solenia.
Oh,
Right.
wow.
Solenia is a very clean design and the precursor, at least technically speaking, to Black Angel. Black Angel is it's a much heavier, much more complex game with a lot more happening, a longer play time. Solenia is the junior version of that, if you want to call it anything. And I like this one a lot. It's going to have a real simple turn structure with you playing a card out of a hand of only 3, I think, and gathering some resources or delivering some goods to one of these floating islands. The really cool mechanism, which is also in Black Angel, is this idea of a board that shifts underneath your blimp or whatever we're in, that ship you're in. And so you're going to take one from whenever the ship does advance, you shifted one tile forward, and then you take one of these chevrons, you remove it from the back, right, so from behind your ship, you flip it to the other side, and you put it at the front. And it shifts the board slowly from day to night and back to day and back to night.
Very
It's a
cool.
really cool looking concept. And it's neat. It's just very smooth, small deck of cards. It's 30 minutes. There's a couple of nice variants right in the box, so you can play it like really intro level, add a little something else. It's never a complicated game, but it does give you some nice replayability. I just enjoy it a lot. Super easy to teach, scales well. I like that too. So yeah, Solenia is just a very pleasant, attractive game. I like it quite a bit. So 38 for
Do you
me.
guys like it?
I like it quite a bit, and I feel like it's kind of slipped under the through the cracks a little bit.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
This
and
one-
it's a shame. It is a solid game. Do you normally play the advanced version or the basic version?
I
or-
do now, yeah. Yeah, I do. I like the just the variability, and then you draft special powers
Right.
at the beginning.
Yeah.
It's like, oh well, I have this power where if I unlock this level on my ship, I now can deliver to day and night cities
right.
interchangeably. Nobody else will do that the whole game, the rest of the game.
It seems overpowered, that specific ability.
They're all really good though. So, and if you really
Maybe
like
I
it,
would have
then-
liked it more. I did not like this game.
Really, I enjoyed it.
I did not. I felt I didn't like this whole having to look 4 steps ahead.
planning. You don't like the planning and the thinking part? Yeah, I get it. I get it.
No, I didn't in this particular game. I don't know what it was. I
You
didn't.
know, it's getting his brain juices.
All right. Well, despite Z's rudeness to me,
Feeble brain juice.
the people are agreeing with Z.
That's right. It's Solenia.
No, but they agree with your 39. It's their 38. That's Deception, Murder in Hong Kong.
That's really close.
That is really close, but not quite the same, so therefore you hate the people.
I think what you mean to say is the people hate me.
They do.
Yes.
That goes without saying.
It's
All
a
right.
mutual hatred.
I wonder if
Deception, Murder in Hong Kong. I'm actually pretty impressed. This has been on the list. It was 37 last year and 37 the year before that.
Wow.
This is
Wow.
extremely
I
consistent.
wonder if this is the
game.
highest social deduction game. I'd be
On the
interested in
People's
knowing.
Choice,
What is happening here?
He's looking through all of them to see if they're social
I
deduction
think
games.
so.
But what
This
about
is
no-
the
what about
people's
number
social
12
deduction
though?
game.
12 is not even remotely a social deduction game.
You could make it one though.
That would have been impressive if that had pulled off.
That would have been, we would have bowed to you there, but yeah, that's the highest one. So anyhow, I see people playing this at conventions
Super
still.
good, yeah.
Yeah.
Great for
And-
a big group.
Yeah, so
for sure.
great game. People's Choice, Deception, Murder in Hong Kong. Oh, that was a really fast transition.
You're very short. Get on it.
I heard they're the best transitions. Okay, anyway, my number 37
Good job. You did a good job.
was 77 last year, so it's moved up, but it's been on my
You
list
said 77?
to 37.
Wow. Okay.
Big jump.
Better be good. No.
That's a party game. No, I don't know. Maybe party games each year when I do it, I always say don't get on my case for putting party games in my top 40. But then,
Does
it
anybody
really-
do that?
Oh yeah, there's always some people on Board Game Key, especially. They're like, how can you take someone seriously when they put these games in their
Yeah.
top list? And like,
Don't take them that seriously, man.
They are games, right?
but it is hard when you're looking at a party game next to Power Grid or something. You're like, which
Get
one's
it?
better?
Of course.
Anyway.
It's not for the same setting.
But that's why I think party games fluctuate on my list, because each year it's harder. It's just hard to remember where they were last year or whatever. Anyway, it's Dixit. This was already on Z's
this
list
one.
and on the People's Choice. We were just talking about Dixit as
Yeah.
for use of which game.
Compatibility.
Yeah.
I'm buying 4 decks of Dixit and
Dixit
playing
is
compatibility.
not the highest rated party game on my list, but I still do enjoy this one. It's still a game that I get to see people who've never played it before. You bring it out, and their minds are kind of like, "This is amazing."
Yeah.
They've never seen anything like it. I remember the first time I played this, I felt that it transcended the. Everyone was cloning apples for a while.
Right.
Yes.
Everything was put a card in the middle, judge picks the best one. There's a lot, and that's a fine system, but this one allowed you to be more clever.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Where you were trying to get a lot of people to get it, or actually you're trying to get one person to get it if possible.
Yeah, you're trying to get one person to get it. You don't want everyone to get it, and you also don't want nobody to get it. Yeah.
And it's also
That's cool.
really
It's a
fun
cool
to throw
twist.
that card out
Right.
there, because you're sitting there trying to think, what would someone pick for this? This card might match that perfectly,
Yeah.
and sometimes it
Yeah.
does. So
It's neat. It allows you to see people in a different way too, to kind of see how they interpret things that are abstract. I mean, that can tell you something about a person. That just their way of thinking that is different than you might normally.
oh, you want to cause a fight? You put out a card and you say, "This reminds me of Mike." and then you sit there and watch all the cards get flipped over and like, "Are you kidding me?"
It's a garbage can. How am I supposed to interpret this?
I'm like, well, what I meant was you clean everything up.
Right. Yeah. Right. Exactly. Allegedly. All right. My number 37 is actually a crossover with Tom, not on today's list, but a previous list, and I was really surprised when it was as high as it was on your list. This is.
I like you so much.
This is not. I don't even think it's Reiner Knizia's best auction game, but it's still on my list.
It's got to be Trump Fabric then.
It is Dream Factory. The version I've had and played is Dream Factory. For some reason, this is the one. I think Raw is a better game, but this is a better game for me.
Okay, I will. I don't know that I disagree with that. Raw is like a finely tuned auction
Right,
game. This
right.
one is
This
the
one-
slightest bit clunky, maybe.
Right.
I don't care though. I'm making movies.
It's just so much
Yeah.
fun. Yeah, there's something about it that just works, and people have always enjoyed it when I've introduced it to them. Most times when I introduce this game, people have never heard of it. They have no idea what it's about. Many of them have never played a game that has a closed economy like this one does.
well,
and
there's
that-
almost none that do.
Right.
I don't even think I could do a top 10 of it.
right, and that
Yeah.
blows people's minds a lot
I can
of
only
time.
think of like 2 or 3.
Yeah, and it's such a clever way to handle auctions, right?
It doesn't make any thematic sense.
Not at all, but yeah, but
I'm like, we're in a construction thing. I bid more money than he did. And the guy's like, all right, now give it to him.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, here.
But that's a Knizia staple, right? Theme is definitely not the thing.
Which is funny because otherwise, other than that,
it's a pretty thematic,
super
feeling
strong
game.
theming
Yeah.
of the putting the people in your movies.
Right, and I happen to like the parody. I understand why some people don't, but you don't need that. You can take it or leave it. But the game itself, it's quick. It works. It just works, and I like the theme. I love the way the economy works. So, Dream Factory.
Huh.
Awesome.
Mike is now higher on my list.
Then
He was earlier.
Got it.
Let's schedule that performance evaluation review.
All right. Just wait. So my 37 is a very story-driven game. Some would say this is only story. This is almost more of an activity.
Well, you already said Seventh Continent.
Oh wait, is this
Tales.
Arabian Nights?
This is Tales of the Arabian Nights.
Oh,
Wait,
jeez.
this is higher than Seventh Continent?
You think this
Yes,
belongs
I
on
love this
any
game.
sort of top 10 list?
I
It's
have had
It's a good game.
I have had so much fun playing Tales of the Arabian Nights with like my game group and my family, and just it's worked great with tons of different people, and I've really enjoyed just the craziness that comes out of this game. It's basically like choose your own adventure, and it's like you're never quite sure what's going to happen in different situations.
Exactly,
It's
correct.
fun. It's fun to pick the different stats. You can be like, okay, I'm not going to get into combat if I'm not good, don't have the stat that helps with combat. That sort of stuff.
No,
I mean,
there's no strategy to this game. Look, I love
there's
the
no
game
real
too.
strategy to the game, and there's no real game
You
to
can
the
go
game
to a
because it
thing and
doesn't
the
matter.
king says, "Bow down before me." You're like, "All right, the good thing
I'd
here
rather
be
go
to bow
read a
down."
good book, you know what I mean?
It's fun as a group to have these settings and these stories
I'll
and
read
see
the
the
book out
crazy
loud,
things that happen.
you know? This is so bad. This is the worst game on any of these lists.
No, boo!
Tales of the Arabian Nights is awesome.
Shots fired.
And
No.
Z doesn't like to have fun, and it's just
My only complaint
known.
is I can't believe you put this higher than Seventh Continent because I think Seventh Continent has a better game behind it.
I mean, it might be. Also, I mean, I actually own this. I don't own Seventh Continent. I've only played through
This
one
is twice
scenario
now
of
where
Seventh
I've gotten a
Continent.
hint that I need to give him Seventh Continent.
No, it is not. I mean, unless if you
No,
want to
you
go higher
always
on
said
my
I said
list.
play the expansion. You're like, well, I don't have a copy.
Wink, wink! Shove! Shove!
I don't care that much about it.
I
I
was gonna
really
put Queen's
enjoy.
Gambit on my list, but I don't have a copy of Queen's Gambit.
My wife
just
also,
saying.
my wife also really enjoys this
my
game, and
10
we played
through
this game
7.
together, and it's been really fun playing
Have
Tales
you
of
played
Arabian
the
Nights.
spy one? The
No, I've always really wanted to try that out, but I've never had a chance to
what's
play
the name
it.
of that
Agents of Smirch.
Yes.
one? Smirch, not Smirch.
Smurf. Agents
What did I
of
say?
Smurf.
Smirch.
I thought you said Smirch.
No, like, that's some made up word. S-M-E-S-H.
Anyhow, though I'm still annoyed because when this first came out, I really liked it. I still like it. Boo to you.
that's okay.
And they told me they were making a King Arthur version, and it's never come out. It's always bugged me.
Oh, whatever.
I love
Read a
King Arthur
book.
lore.
Who would you even complain to at this point? Zev?
No, he's with a different company.
I know. Well, tell him to get the.
Who's that? Eric
Make it happen.
Goldberg. I need to find Eric Goldberg.
Come on, Eric, get on it.
All right.
Z is waiting with bated breath.
No, he's not.
My 37 is a complete playset of Magic the Gathering, which I don't have.
It's the Black Lotus card.
No, my 37 is Hadara. Hadara was on. Has this showed up on somebody's list or the people's list at this point? Maybe not.
I don't think so. I think it's just you.
Oh, I know. I heard your podcast the other day, and it was one of the top 10 picks of the year from somebody, right? That's
You
what it
actually
was.
listened to the podcast?
I did, yeah.
Wow.
So it was a rare occurrence. It was a big episode. It was top 10 of the year, so I wanted to hear.
Got
That's
it.
what it is. I like this one a lot. Again, it's from this year, so I know it hasn't been on the list before. And much like Paper Tales, this is a fairly straightforward drafting game that kind of feels like Seven Wonders in many ways, but different enough where I could see myself enjoying both. They don't necessarily, they don't fight for me. In my head, they don't fight against each other. I like the production quality here. It's very nice. The theme is completely absent, really. But you'll be drafting cards, each round being broken up into 2 phases. This is the most interesting part of the game. You're drafting by drawing 2 cards from the top of a deck, keeping one, discarding the other to its own discard pile. And with the one you kept, you do the Seven Wonders stuff. Build it, chuck it for money, whatever. Once that's done, though, and everybody's done that bit with the different piles, you then go through a phase 2 in which you can take any card you want to from the top of the discards. And so you will, at that point, really be able to go your own way. Because before you have to take 1 yellow card, 1 green, 1 red, 1 blue, whatever. For the second half, it's like, well, 1 blue. So I take blue. When it's my turn, I want the top blue card again. So I'll take blue. And you can really then start to do whatever you want with it. I like it. Smooth. Good design. Really interesting stuff. So Hadara was a great game from this year. Made it.
I need to play this
all the
one.
way
This
up
one's
here.
really bugging me that I haven't
You
played
haven't
it.
played this?
I have not.
Oh, I thought you played this at the Gathering.
No, you know what?
I played this
It's my
twice at the
anti-hype
Gathering.
machine thing because I would walkthrough, and Jason would be like, "You must play Adara right now," and I was like, "Well,
So you signed an oath to never play
no, I'm not
Nadara.
playing it right now."
I get that. Sure. I get it.
All
You'll like it, I think. You
I
might
don't think
not
I
have,
wouldn't.
I don't think
That
you'll have
cover as
fervor
well.
for it
Yeah.
because you've heard a lot about it by now. I think after we play, you're going to be like, whatever, I don't care. Just like that. But it is good.
It was on the hot games table at Dice Tower Con, and it was packed the entire time.
Yeah, it really
Way
was.
better
All
than
right.
Arabian Nights.
The people. Roy,
Haters gonna hate.
Roy, I got your back on that one. All right.
All right.
I don't know if I quite want to.
Oh! Dang, he doesn't even want your support for Arabian Nights.
Well, the people here have a game that I think's been on the list since the people started doing this sort of thing, and that's number 37. It was 26 last year because I think it might be close out of print. Although a new map for it came out at Essen, as 17 maps have already done so. That's Power Grid. Power Grid consistently. The heavy Euro game that people who don't like heavy Euro games somehow play. Maybe it's an economic game and not a Euro game. I don't know. It
the
feels like
same
a
thing.
Euro
What's the
game.
difference?
It's just a
No, I would argue there's a difference. Like it's a stock market game, 18xx and all that jazz.
Is that a Euro game or an economic game?
Economic. They've been
probably
around
economic.
longer than Euro games.
Yeah.
This though has you
This is an
placing the
economic
houses
game,
out.
sure. It's a connection game, economic
Right.
bidding. It is actually quite the melting pot of mechanisms, but they feed into each other pretty well.
It's an anomaly though.
It is.
Like,
I agree.
You don't normally like games like this.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I don't like money games, economic games, this whole like, I need to bid this much money for this, and then I'm going to need to buy resources. That's going to cost me $52. I got to set that aside. I don't. I like this game.
But why?
Because look at that cover, man. It screams fun.
Yeah.
No,
You
I
like
don't
it?
know. I like it.
I've never actually played this game. I got it for $5 at a thrift store, and then
I'll trade you a copy of Seven
I
Continents.
swiftly traded it for
Oh.
Marvel Legendary Villains and never looked
Oops.
back.
Oh,
I
okay.
love Marvel Legendary.
Fine.
That was-
Fine.
Huh. There's
I
probably
bet
like
Marvel-
some Euro gamer out there that like a heart attack. Like, "Wah."
Marvel Legendary doesn't have paper money though.
You know, it's an interesting thing.
Isn't this math the game?
I've not actually played a game. I've sat and watched 2 complete games of it played. I
Good
don't.
night. This is not a short game.
No, it's not.
You
It's not.
sat and watched 2 complete games?
It's a long story,
You
but
keep
yeah.
breaking my heart. This is the second sad thing you've told us today.
I did it every day, once a week. It was, yeah. No, I feel like I played it because I've watched people play it, and it felt like it took a week. But no, it looks like a game I would enjoy. I just haven't actually sat down and played it. I came in like 10 minutes late, and I
Good
didn't
job, people. Good choice.
This is a good one.
My number 36 is been on the list for 2 years. Last year entered at 22. Z and Sam both hated this game, but I love it. It's the sweet spot of my Euro games because it lets you do a gazillion things and you can't do all of them. And that is Pulsar 2849.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Still really enjoy this game. I don't. The space theme.
There's no.
No, I was
theme.
really just
There's-
yawning.
There's no theme in
I'm
this.
sorry.
No, I
I
was
wasn't
going
trying
to
to
say
be.
the space
I
theme.
wasn't trying to be cheeky.
The space theme has nothing to do with it
Yeah.
because I don't care about that.
I
think
honestly
it's-
cannot give you a lot of garbage because I barely remember it.
I liked it.
No,
it's
really,
very-
like I
very
can't even be like,
positive.
well, I don't like this. I don't recall this game.
Yeah.
It was so forgettable.
I like the dice placement aspect of it. You draft the dice, then you place the dice in various things. I like that there's no way you can do everything, so you're trying to focus on something. It's definitely a point salad. This one just really hit me in the right spot. I think Vladimir Suchi is one of my favorite Eurogame designers. Period. I also like Underwater Cities, which did not make my top 100, but I like it. But this is still my favorite game. And Last Will, I love Last Will, and Prodigal Son.
That's not. Those
Yeah,
are
that
not
is-
his designs.
That's
Yeah,
Suchi,
they're-
yeah. That's Suchi.
Really?
Yeah. Now, because I was going to say I actually tend to like his designs quite a bit, and I think that I thought this game was okay. I'm similar to Z. I played it once.
Mike, I would just
No,
like you.
I thought
only-
it was okay, but it didn't. I don't remember much about it. I remember some drafting, and that was a little. Those decisions were a little bit tough. And I seem to remember that there was some type of a connection. There was like a path building you had to do, but I don't remember much beyond that.
I've only played this game once, and I actually really enjoyed it. Maybe it is because the barely there space theme. I just
Yeah.
love space.
Really?
themes. I liked building out the little Dyson spheres and getting points from each turn. I haven't
All right.
played it a whole bunch of times, but I
keep
really
trying to
enjoyed
put
it.
you in a box, and you keep jumping out.
I didn't expect you to like this one at all.
I think I played it with my friend he'd played it several times.
once
He's
a
really
week
good at
guy?
Euro games. It was the once a week guy. We played it once a week, every day of
Is
the
this your
week.
co-host?
No. It's
Oh,
one of my
okay.
friends who's into all the games, but I actually won this game solidly, and it was a lot of fun playing it. So
Got it.
yeah.
All right. Well,
But I've
my
only played it
number
once, so.
36, Pulsar 2849.
All right, my number 36, I know has been on my list.
Why are you going next?
I have no idea.
Earlier today in Foundations of Rome, you were skipping one
I was.
person. Now you're skipping two people.
Something's happening in my
should
brain.
just have your
Well,
whole
actually,
list
he
go.
was sitting right here.
That's
right
probably
after
what it is. I have no idea. I'm going to sit here and be quiet.
My number
ahead.
36 is what? Tell me what it is.
Here.
Okay. No, my number 36 is a game that we talk about unique themes and wanting games that are unique, and this I think has a really great theme that fits. For this worker placement game, it is Viticulture, and I would say the Essential
one.
Edition. I mean, I think this is the
Same thing,
the,
right?
the
I
one.
mean,
Yeah, it
It's
kinda-
super confusing
It
at this
is,
point.
and that is an issue. But I like that this has the Grande worker right there in it, and
Yes.
and it has some of the modules from Tuscany baked right into it. It has the mamas and the papas in there, and so
Yeah, it should have just been in there.
it should have been. And
Yes.
obviously, this is a game that has gone through some post-production development work, but it's great. I mean, I really enjoy. It's so smooth. It really is. You feel like you're doing what you're doing. To me, anyway.
I think
because-
the theme is pretty strong.
yeah.
yeah.
I'm you may not know this, but I'm well acquainted with running a vineyard. No, I'm not. But it feels like what
I can never tell if anyone in the studio is ever telling the truth.
It seems to me like this is, you first you plant the vines, and then you get the grapes. You harvest the grapes, and you put them on the thing, and then you smush them, and then you drink them, and all this type of stuff. So
Sounds like he knows his stuff.
look, I don't want to say I'm an expert in running a vineyard, but no,
A
it's
vineyard,
a
yeah, yeah.
vineyard. That shows my expertise. My vineyard. I just love viticulture. It's beautiful. It's smooth. It doesn't outstay its welcome. It's just a really good game. I like the wake up.
This is the only place I might disagree with you. I think it might outstay its welcome
You think?
slightly.
Okay.
And I think it's a little slow to get going.
Well, you certainly
Because
do
you like
build
that
up.
first fifth of the game, let's say.
okay.
There is that whole, let's get to making some wine.
That's true. You have to-
Automania doesn't do it, right? Automania, you're making cars.
I don't care.
You're making cars.
I don't care.
And
That's
this
a
one,
good
you're making
choice,
wine.
Mike.
Yeah, I agree. This is a great game. It's my 101. As far as you know. But I do think it's slightly slow at the beginning.
Okay, I'll grant you
This
that.
is a solid,
This
solid
may show
thing.
up later on some other lists, like the People's Choice.
Oh,
What do you got?
Nice. My 68. Oh goodness. 36.
What is happening here?
Neither of those numbers are right.
It's
Week-
only Wednesday, right?
Did he say 68?
I have no clue what's going
I'm
on.
telling you, man, we're getting loopy over here on this side of the table. Is there a
36.
gas leak?
I was just going to ask, Kenny, can you check the?
36 is technically a remake of a much older game, but it's very, very different. This, I guess, is technically supposed to be a remake of Star Wars Epic Duels, and this is unmatched.
Oh,
Wow.
I thought you were about to say Risk Star Wars. It's like, wow.
No. I really enjoy
All right.
Unmatched. I really enjoy how you have these different characters that match up, and you're using the deck of cards to try to outthink your opponent. Like, are they going to play this high of a defense? Are they going to do that? You have different characters that play very differently. You're trying to utilize their powers properly. It's very tactical in the way it works, and you're trying to make sure you're moving out of range and hitting your opponent. I played this with 2 players. I played it with 4 players. I played it with 3 players. I played it with all different player counts, and I've really enjoyed it.
I've only played
all
it
the different
2.
ways. I like the battle royale thing, but I also really enjoy the talking back and forth of, attack them, don't attack me sort of thing in games, which I think is fun, adds negotiation to it. But I've enjoyed Unmatched a ton, and
So
I can't
you
wait to see
like
more.
this better than Funkoverse?
Yeah, I don't know that Funkoverse would be on my top 100. So
Okay.
Oh, wow.
I do too.
I
That's
like it
weird.
Slightly better, but I do like Funko quite.
I think I like Funkoverse better. They're compared a lot. That's why.
they're good.
I like them both, but I think I like I like Chuck and Dice.
Yeah.
I just like the tactical nature of this and the way you can game it out. And when I played Funkoverse, it felt very much like you had to not care as much. I mean, you had cool powers you could try to strategize with, but the dice were so like
don't
thrown
care
in the
in any
wind.
game.
I know. Well, there's that.
This feels different than most dice chucking games. That's the thing.
'Cause there
there
is
isn't
no
any.
dice.
Right. It's that clash without it. It makes me think of Yomi, actually, one that we used to play.
Yeah, okay.
This feels like a better Yomi, you know?
What I like about it is how quickly I can look through the deck. I always feel overwhelmed with these games that have a lot of powers on the cards.
Yeah.
This never overwhelmed me. I was like, oh, I kind of see what this character does.
Yeah.
I like
I mean,
that.
sometimes you have to plan and like build up a bunch of cards and then jump in and attack, and then it's just the tactics of the game. I think is why I really enjoy it.
Yeah. Solid.
It's a good one.
Unmatched.
My 36.
What number?
I want to be real careful
I don't
now.
trust myself anymore.
I cannot. Like I said about 6 minutes ago, this has been on my list before, I'm fairly certain. And I like it quite a bit. A co-op game that I wish they would do a nicer edition of, because I think the printing is a little subpar. This is Subterra. That was not a pun. That was
Subpar.
not a pun, I
You
realized.
really like
I'd
this
say This is a
game.
new game, too, isn't it?
Yeah, I see this on a
This
lot
is
of your
A
lists.
couple of
It's
years
a
old
couple of
now.
years old.
Yeah.
Okay.
They just had Subterra 2 on Kickstarter.
Oh, okay.
This doesn't seem to have gotten a big release in America.
Yeah.
I think this is more. I know UK.
Yeah,
Liked it a lot.
I want to say it's a British company, I think. And that's a weird picture, I guess, that we went with. But yeah, it does have some glow-in-the-dark finish on the tiles. That's how
like it.
That's how it
Yeah.
looks. I would
Have you
not-
played in the dark?
No. I wouldn't be able to read the text on the characters. But I
This
do
was
like
your-
it quite a bit.
This was your 17 last year. So
Oh, wow.
So it's like you like it
man.
half as much as apparently.
Exactly. Now I used to rate it a 10. Now I rate it a 5. No, it's I would
If
not.
you're rating games in your top 40
That
at
would-
5,
I
and
don't
you have
like
a terrible
gaming.
game
Yeah, I don't like
life.
gaming. No, I like the exploration in this one. It's a co-op game. You're diving in a cavern, a cave, trying to get out. Basically, find an exit, get out. But the exploration is really fun. You'll be flipping a bunch of tiles, finding hazards along the way, sharp rocks you might cut yourself on, or creatures in there that chase you down. All sorts of things. There might be tremors where stones fall on you. And it's always tense. It's always interesting. I like the cooperation. If someone falls down because they run out of health, they just fall down wherever they are, and somebody else needs to show up there and heal them, help them, get them up. So you might be running for some place and realize, oh, I got to turn back because so-and-so fell down. We need to triangulate this to work it out. I really enjoy it. It's always a nail biter, too, at the end. Always a nail biter. So the tiles are too dark. That's the main issue. Quality is not that high. It's all right, but it's not that high. And the tile printing is extremely dark, hard to see. But they have a miniature upgrade pack, which I thought was nice. That's good. The bits are good, all that stuff. A deluxe version of this will never come out. The game's not that popular, like you said. But I would love it. This is one. If I had to,
never know.
If I had to pick like one, maybe a couple of the games from my top 100 where I would like a fancy schmancy edition, this might be one of them that would benefit the most. Anyway, I really like it anyway. Don't worry about that. Get a copy if you see it. I think you're gonna like it.
Every time you talk about this, I'm like, man, I want to try that game.
It's real fun. I like it.
Some people on the internet said it's super hard.
I haven't found that to be true because it's always real close.
Okay.
It's hard. It's not easy, right? But at the end, when you're just running for that exit, you finally see it. You're just running for it. There's a creature right behind you. The deck of cards has run out, so your flashlights died. You're down to like rolling a single die to see if the monsters in the dark consume you as you were barreling down a tunnel. That's a nail-biting moment. You might make it if you get lucky with a couple of rolls.
Definitely not watching that movie.
Oh, man. Have you seen The Descent?
No.
You should watch that with all the lights out at 2 in the morning.
My number 30, the People's Choice number 36, is also a cooperative game. Was 34 last year, 60 the year before that, and Z Garcia has yet to mention it, but he will.
Oh.
Arkham Horror, the card game.
You don't know that.
We all know that.
So say we who? All?
No.
Yeah.
So says.
I am interested to see how high this is going to
Derpy
go.
Cthulhu.
Crusty Cthulhu?
Crusty Thulu.
Hey kids,
Dude, don't say that too loud or they'll make an expansion for this game.
This seems to. This is currently the most popular LCG, although I would put good money that next year this will not be the highest ranked
Yeah,
LCG
you're
from
probably
them.
right.
How
You're
much you want to bet the Marvel one passes it?
Yeah, it likely will.
$12.
You're saying it won't pass?
I'm saying whichever one gets me, $12.
I'll bet you a copy of Seventh Continent.
Is that how much your lunch costs or something? What's a very
For
specific
$12,
amount?
I can buy an expansion pack.
Oh,
you go.
You're right.
Yeah, there you go. That's what it is.
Yeah, no, I think Marvel will pass it next year.
Sure,
Just because of
yeah.
the sheer popularity of
Marvel.
that game. But this one is still very popular.
Indeed.
I think it's the most popular of their co-op games. It looks like it's past Lord of the Rings in popularity.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so. Lord of the Rings has a lot of years on this, but still,
Sure.
I think so.
All right. My number 35 is brand new to the list. And it is it's not the last new one. There's still new ones that are coming, but this is it's the hottest game to come out last year, and that is Wingspan. Big fan of
This was
Wingspan.
on your list already. Okay. I guess it wasn't. I thought it was mentioned already by you in one of the previous chunks of the top 100.
Now you got me all worried. I don't.
No,
I
I'm
don't-
sure
Could
you're
it have been
fine.
the people?
People will let you know. Don't worry about
Yeah,
it.
Was not on the people's choice list
Okay.
at all so
You're
far.
good. You're good.
Anyway, I really like Wingspan. I blinged mine out considerably. Not like it was already
Sure.
pretty nice we put together. As you can see from many of the games on my list, one of the things I like are engine building games.
Yeah.
And this is currently my engine building game of choice, probably, of the card ones. And adding more birds. I don't think the expansion was amazing
But it's
for
European
this.
birds.
Yeah, ooh. But it did add more cards, makes
Right.
that engine even more diverse as you play through it. I like the fact that every card in the deck is different,
That's wild.
Yeah, it is.
and the artwork, and I like the theme. This is mind-boggling to me. People are like, I can't believe they picked this theme. I'm like, did you see how much it sold? Obviously,
Right.
this theme is working for a lot of people.
Good, distinct theme. It's good.
Yeah.
Like,
it is.
oh, I'm sorry, it's not zombie Cthulhu's in the generic dungeon of the Middle East.
Yeah, it's not elves. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
It's fine. This is a good call.
It's a really good call.
Yeah, I really like
bird call.
Wingspan. Super fun.
All right, my number 35 is another. We've had a lot of co-ops on this list. This is another co-op. Some people say this is harder than Ghost Stories, but I haven't found that to be the case because I have actually beaten this game, and this is Yggdrasil.
No. Lies! No one has beaten Yggdrasil.
I have beaten it. My wife and I play this. We've beaten it. Actually, my wife on
Pixar didn't happen.
my wife on the app crushes this game. She wins.
There's an app for this?
Yes, it's an old one, but she wins more often than she loses. She's probably at like I don't know. I would guess.
Wait,
she's at
isn't this the one that
60%.
gets easier with the fewer players, though?
Yeah, it is.
sure.
So with
I almost won once. Solitaire.
yeah, with one or two.
I was one card away from winning, and then I burnt the game. I didn't, but no, I never won this.
No, I have. I've beaten it more than once.
Did you cheat?
I did not cheat. It's a bag. It's kind of like a. It's not really a bag builder, but you are pulling chits out of
This
a
is
bag.
Piero's artwork, too, isn't it?
It sure looks
Yes, it
like
is.
it. If it's
Yeah.
not, it sure looks like it.
He did our playmat.
that is.
Right, and now I guess they've come up with a new version with this huge constructed tree, but I don't need that. I have just the classic edition of it.
You need to play and review the new copy we
Yeah,
have.
I'd love
then.
to. I would love to because I think this game is
you have it?
fantastic.
At your house?
Z, you need to play and review this game.
I'll bring it in. Maybe
Yeah.
you should. Maybe we should do it together.
Maybe he should
Joint
teach you how to
review.
win.
Yeah.
And then if we lose,
You're a liar.
I may need to
All I know is you said you win this every time you play.
No, I do not.
That's what I heard.
he said he never lost, is what he
No.
said.
I feel like my words are getting twisted, folks. But no, I have beaten this game before, and legitimately because that's the other thing I like about it is that it's not a heavy rule set. I mean, it's a pretty basic. It's really about manipulating that bag, getting the tokens in there that you want to get in there, getting the fire trolls out of there, getting the
We'll play it.
manipulating the.
We'll let you alpha gamer it.
All right. Yeah, no,
I'll be like, Mike, just tell me what to do.
Yeah, no, I think it's
Hold my hand.
It's a fantastic game. I like how all of the different kind of enemies do different things to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just a really solid game. I hope it becomes more available because it's been in different
It will not
stages of out of
ever.
print.
This
Really?
is out of print like forever.
Well, the newest
The
one
new
just
one, I
came
guess,
in.
but I don't know how
not the
different it
same
is.
game.
I haven't even looked at it.
I've only played this a
They're
couple
not even
times.
like that close.
Definitely lost both the times I played.
Yeah.
So.
The only thing I had an issue with, which is why I eventually did get rid of it, is that it was extremely repetitive.
Oh, sure. Yeah, it's true.
It's a very, very repetitive game. And that's fine. You could
so
make
is
that
Ghost
argument.
Stories.
Yeah, so is
Oh, there you go.
yeah.
I was gonna say you could make that argument for other co-ops. Just it's a little more pronounced in this game, I think. You know, it's in Ghost Stories. It just feels like your plan. The actions are the same, but your plan diverges based on what's going on, the board state, and all that. In this, it's just almost always feels like the same thing. It's like get some elves, get these guys. This one's ahead, attack it, push it. This one moves now. Oh well, this
Twist
one's
it.
ahead, attack
Bop
it.
Twist it.
Bop it. You know, it's too much bopping.
Loki it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I can see that, but I still, man,
That's cool.
I love it.
That's good.
Love the art.
That was not what I expected.
Yeah, really.
All right,
Wow.
shock us, Roy.
All right, my
Pick something
35
good.
probably
Something
will
good.
not shock you at all. This is an Eric Lang game. Some would even say the middle game in his trilogy.
Some would say.
Some would say it's Rising Sun.
Which one?
I really enjoy Rising
I've
Sun.
not heard of this.
It's a lot of fun. I actually really enjoy the combat from this game as well. I enjoy the placing the coins out and bidding. I really enjoy combat where you can like play against the other players and
Yes.
determine what they're thinking and try to get in their head and outsmart them. I really enjoyed that in a
thought
lot
of
of.
doing that.
Well, maybe you should, and you would like
such
do
a
better in
jerk.
the game. But I think it's cool, all the different powers. I love the monsters. I love the giant monsters and the miniatures in this game. I painted up several of them, and it's really fun playing. I have actually never won a game of Rising Sun.
Sure.
Mostly because people
I'm
are
terrible at this game.
able
Me too.
to make sure I don't win, and they do that.
Play with me, and I'll help
Then-
you win.
Yeah, because I've
Now
never
I don't
won
think that
either.
is true at
You've
all.
done well in this game. Do you do well in it?
Yeah, sometimes.
I don't. I'm really
So do we
terrible
have
at
4
this
people
game.
that have never won this game? Because I've never
No,
won.
I have won.
Okay, I've never won in this.
Also,
Then you can sit there and watch.
I
us
have
play.
2 goals in this game: win or make Jason lose.
I just think no one expects
both
you
those
to
I want to
win,
point
so they're
out
not
if you
gunning for you.
accomplish one of them, you will also accomplish the other one.
That's usually true. Yes.
But yeah, I really like the way the mechanics work in this. It's very interesting the way the different powers of the different factions work, and the miniatures are great with Simon. I think it's good. But yeah, so that is my number 35, Rising Sun.
It's good stuff,
Solid
man.
pick.
That's very you pick. That one I see coming. All right, my 35. I honestly don't remember how high it's been on the list before.
You'll be told.
I'll be told. This is a classic from originally what 99 or 2000. 2000.
Lost Cities.
To the Lost Cities came out in 02, I want to say.
No. Lost Cities is 99.
99? You're right, 99. The same year as Tikal. Citadels came out in 2000.
Ah.
Citadel? Yeah, no, forget.
I hear nothing.
This is, however, this is the 2016 printing. That is a different edition of this game with
That's
different
very
content. No, it's not. Not at all. There's a ton of extra content in the 2016.
No, it's extra content, but it's still the same game.
As much as,
Is the 2016 the new one?
yeah, that's the new printing.
I have not played the new printing. I've only played the old
It
one.
just adds the expansion in, and a little bit more.
Sure. I mean, it's the original content plus the
And
Dark
butterscotch
City
candy.
expansion.
Right.
Which I think the Silver Line had in it already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus a brand new expansion, basically.
So there's 3 rolls for each number?
Not necessarily.
Okay. The Assassin Witch.
But there might be 3, yeah, of each.
Okay.
There's also a bunch of new purple buildings, which are unique buildings in the game. You don't play with them all. You only shuffle in 18. This is the ultimate version of this. I think it's fantastic production. The cards are extremely high quality. Illustrations are great. All the extra content I really love. I love having a master version of this.
Yeah.
And that's what this Citadel's 2016 printing is to me. And it's just so good to finally have one that encompasses everything they've put out, gives you new content, and it's sort of like the buck stops here kind of edition. I really enjoy this one. So yeah, Citadels is this great bluffing, small city building game that you can fit in with just about any group, you know.
Well, this was, they said 89 on your list in 2017.
Okay.
Was not on the list last
Wow.
year. What's changed?
This edition
edition.
probably is what it is.
Did you just get this edition?
Yesterday.
We got it every day last week.
Once a week.
Once
Once a
We
week
got it
every day,
once
yeah.
a week.
No, it's got to be this. And I played it some more, and it just reminded me this 20-year-old game is still really fun.
All right.
You know, it's not snazzy anymore. It's not showy. It doesn't look like, oh, look at these brilliant brand new mechanisms. It's old, right? It also is fun and not self-aware in how like clever it is, I guess is what I like about it. It's like, this game is just here to entertain. Are you having fun? I'm doing my job. Have fun. You know, I like that.
I played a ton of Citadels, and I think it's a really fun.
It's
It's
just
really good.
fun. So there you go, 35.
All right. Well, 35 is not an old game for the people. In fact, it's new to the list for them.
That's
Although
impossible.
it's clearly a game from last year, so I guess it just didn't get played enough to get on. It's the most popular game from 2018,
Oh.
and that would be Root.
Ah, yeah.
No,
Not
Root.
older.
Root.
Cosmic Encounter.
Another game that we saw played consistently all over the place.
Yes.
People were really enjoying it. The expansion just came out. The
Oh,
the
cute.
sequel or whatever, the next one, Oath, is doing really well on Kickstarter right
Yeah.
now. Root, just a game a lot of people like. Which is the thing is, I don't even know that this game is for everybody.
It's not.
It's a kind of for war gamers. It's for people who like strong asymmetric play to the point of you may not like playing one of the factions.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's true.
Like the birds, for example,
If you don't like programming.
require
programming.
a programming aspect to them, while the other ones don't. The birds kind of program what they're going to do.
They kind of
Really?
build up an engine
Yes.
as they program it, but if it ever fails, you go back to nothing.
Right, and
And,
so you got to
the
kind
rest of
of.
the players have to engineer how to make you fail, so it's kind of rough.
Really? That's how I'm supposed to beat the birds. I was just waiting for them to self-implode.
Yeah.
Well, no, you just say the birds are doing really good. Let's make it so they fall apart. And
Got it. I always point out that other people are doing well. All right.
I've not played this, but I really, really need to at some
Yeah.
point.
All right. 35
I'd like to try some of the other facts.
for you is Root. All right, I had a new game at 35. 34 is an old game. The very first year, this was on my list at 94. And then it actually fell out of my list for a few years, then came back in.
Explain that.
Last year was 44, so it's up. This was the #1 game on Board Game Geek for many years.
Puerto Rico.
That is correct.
Ooh.
You know,
Look at that cover.
Yeah. That is so. Yes.
Estefan, stand a little bit to your left, please. A little bit more. You know what? Forget it. You're not going to be on the cover.
Keep going.
he's on the side.
I know.
I was just thinking about this yesterday because I was rearranging the shelves, and I was putting all those boring-looking people next to each other. Like, I remember when I used to think this was cool.
This was the thing,
No
man.
longer.
Yeah.
But Puerto Rico, we mentioned this was already on the People's Choice
Yes.
about the role selection. I still think that's phenomenal.
Yes.
It's really hard for me when I play this game at this point. When I'm teaching new people, I will try off-the-wall strategies,
Right.
according to me, and I'll still win. It is definitely a game that if you know it and you played it a lot, you're gonna win. I'm
Right,
gonna
that's-
beat new people to the game.
Sure.
There's very little luck in it, and I'll try to pull back because I'll sit there and go, well, that's obviously the best move. But I'll tell you, when I played against people who are good at it, and it's like I'm a baby.
Right.
It just gives me a good. Now it doesn't look great. I have in the library. I have a very blinged out Puerto Rico. Like I took the new deluxe version, added in stuff from Meeple Source,
Wow.
and it still does not look as good as like a Days of Wonder game.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
But I love the gameplay. So Puerto Rico, my number 34.
Yeah. Yep. Good stuff.
Classic for a reason.
Classic.
My number 34 is I am not a big party gamer. I admit it.
Well, they don't make a lot of party games for one.
This is true. Here we go. Come on, keep them coming.
Or for old people.
You know, or for old people.
That's not okay. You're allowed to say he has no friends. You're not allowed to be ageist.
This game
Sorry.
is called Ancient Solitaire.
Oh, you are ageist.
Ancient Solitaire, the party game.
Ancient solitaire.
You all show up at a
stone
smorgasbord at
tablets.
4:30 p.m. and all right.
Wow.
This is going to be a spoiler right off the bat. This, I think, would be the only game you would consider a party game on my list, and it's a triple crossover.
Just one.
No. Deception,
Balderdash,
Murder in Hong Kong.
Wow, in the top 40.
yeah,
Boy, if this is
this-
not on yours, it's ruined.
This game is one that, again, I was very surprised the first time I played it because I was thinking, okay, here's another one of these type of games.
Sure.
And you're right. You get right to it. It's a game where I found that people that don't like to lie in games, for some reason, it works in this game.
So if your kid has a truth-telling problem,
Well, I don't know what it is. I think it's just
Why
the
would you
way
ever
it's
lie in a
structured.
game?
I think it's just the way it's structured, where anyone could potentially be.
Right.
You know, it's so right to the point of what these games are. It doesn't mess around with a lot of other stuff.
well, it gives you an easy excuse. I'll be like, he said there's like a puddle. Mike has bleach, and you're like, oh, whoa. Well, Z has blood.
Exactly right. Yeah, I mean, and it really just goes over so well. You can see it played in large groups.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be a group of 12. I've had good games of Deception with 4 and 5 players. It just is so good at what it does. And for some
Yeah.
reason, this one I'll play, and I just don't have interest in other games of its ilk. But this one I just have always enjoyed.
I think that's a good way to put it. It's very good at what it does, and it knows exactly what it's trying to do.
Right.
It's a fairly small thing, but it nails that thing.
It does. It really does. That's it. 34. Deception.
Awesome. My 34 is a Western themed game.
Okay,
and
that
it's
narrows
also
it down
a
to like
sandbox
5.
game.
Oh, that narrows it down to
Western
1.
Legends.
It went too narrow too quick.
I wasn't trying to make you guys guess it.
My
I was
game's
just
a
talking about
Western
what the
game with
is.
legendary
This is
people
a
in it.
legendary
I
Western
really enjoy Western Legends. You get to be a cowboy or a sheriff, and you run around and you gather up gold and get horses and guns and upgrade your character, but then also try to figure out whether you're going to be an outlaw or be lawful.
Shoot
throw
rabbits.
people in jail. It's fun. It's just interesting all the way the stuff
Slap
comes together.
jackalopes.
And I just enjoy a game where you get to be a character on a board and play the game however you want. That sandbox feel that this game kind of gives you, how you can be like, there's a lot of ways to get victory points, and a lot of them are valid ways to get victory points, and you can run out and do several different things, and it has that strong theme to go with it. I really enjoy it. You can be like, oh, I'm gonna bid away all my money by gambling like crazy, but maybe it works out for you. It's fun, you know, and it's very Western, so
It is.
it's good stuff.
I like
so
it a lot.
I really enjoy Western Legends, and that's why it's my 34.
I like to take my shoes off and wiggle my toes around on the board when I play this.
Because it's very Western.
No, because it's a sandbox.
It's a sandbox game.
Come on
You
now.
know, build a little castle
Yeah.
with the little people. You know,
I got it now.
put out a blanket.
You need to play more Ancient Solitaire. You'd get it.
Yes. All right, my 34 is one of my favorite racing games of all time.
Oh, has it been reprinted
Yes.
recently?
No.
Ooh. Formula E.
That was never reprinted. Snowtails.
Whoa!
And that is not the one I have. The one I have is the Asmodee one, which was technically the middle reprint.
It's right. No, was it Mayfair?
Fragor Brothers.
No, but I thought Mayfair.
Lamont, I'm sorry, the Lamont Brothers. The Fragor is their actual name, I think.
No, it's Fraser and Gordon, and so they put it together. Fragor.
is the name of the company.
Yes, and then
they're
the
the Lamont
Lamonts.
Brothers.
Yes.
Yes, that's it.
Not confusing at all.
Anyway, they came out with Snowtails under their own company. Asmodee pre-printed in a really cool box, very striking box, with just outlines.
Are you sure that wasn't Snowtails 2?
No, I have it. It's Snowtails.
Okay.
And then Renegade reprinted an almost identical version. That actually is artwork from their original release because the cards look different. I really like this one. You are building a board that you're going to be racing on. It's modular, so you set it up however you want to at the beginning. And then the main mechanism in it, the twisty part in it, is that you're on a sled being pulled by dogs, and you are playing cards to one side of the sled or the other. And depending on the difference between them, the dogs will pull harder on one side, your sled will drift around corners. Just a cool concept. And they pull that off. It works really well. You are, depending on which tiles are out there, weaving your way in and out of trees, avoiding chasms and all sorts of weird stuff. Obviously avoiding hitting the sides or going around a corner too quickly, things like that. This is a cool game. If you can wrap your head around that one tricky part about how that card manipulation works, the drifting, sometimes folks have a hard time seeing it in their heads. If you can figure that bit out, you're going to have a good time with this one. Nice pace, which is necessary for me to make a good racing game. And it feels distinct from, I would say, every other racing game out there.
I need to play this.
So I'm so confused. So this has always confused me with the game. The faster dog.
I don't know right now, but I think
I always
it
get
is.
confused by it. So I think the faster dog, the physics are if that one's running faster, then we turn this way. But I think it turns the other way. I'm always confused which way you turn. Once you tell me, faster dog, you turn that way or the other way, I'm like, all right, fine.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't recall right now.
This was your 74 last year,
All
so
right.
it's moving on up.
That's weird. I don't know why, honestly. I don't think I played particularly recently. I just ended up here.
All right.
Yeah, there you go. Snow Tales.
All right, People's Choice number 34 has been on the list for a while, and it's one that Roy and I would agree with, and that is Marvel Legendary.
Yes.
Yeah. This one is, I mean, this one does really well. So we talk about sometimes these games that, like Dice Masters. I'm like, does anyone play Dice Masters? I don't know. I do know people play this one. This one I've seen people playing. I
Right.
see, people. I hear people talk about it. It's easy to get in your house and play because, again, it's co-op. And again, I think most people ignore the semi-co-op
Yeah.
Sure.
blurb that was in the rules. It's the easiest one to
Did you
skip.
say blob?
Nothing stops the blob. Alrighty, so the People's Choice number 34, Marvel Legendary. Or Legendary Marvel. Alright, my number 33 has also been on the list for a while. It has been on the list for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years.
Dang.
Yeah, well, I said that Wingspan was my engine building game of choice. I guess this one beats it out a little. And it's the classic engine building card game, and that's Race for the Galaxy. Now, and I did already say Roll for the Galaxy, and the board game, which is
New Frontier.
New Frontiers, doesn't make my top 100, although I do enjoy it.
Okay.
That one's the one that tries to combine Puerto Rico with race,
Yeah.
and it comes with a game that's very good,
And this is kind of like.
but both those games, it's not as good as both those games.
This is kind of like a Puerto Rico card game, also.
Well, this was actually designed before San Juan, from what I understand. And then Andreas Seifert prototyped it or played it and asked if he could do the same thing with San Juan. San Juan is a cleaner, easier version, and I think you like it better.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I think I do.
But I just love Race for the Galaxy. I kind of waffle on which one I want to play, and since they're both in my top 100, if you say, hey, you want to play Roll, I'll be like, no, I want to play Race. No, I'm happy with them both. But given my preferences, especially if everyone knows what they're doing,
Yes.
Race is sublime. To sit there and play those cards.
so fast.
I feel like I'm pretty good at the game, but it also helps that I played it so much.
Right.
I know what all the 6 technologies are. That's a big deal.
Sure.
To know what's possible in the deck.
What a massive nerd. No, I mean, that's great.
Race for the Galaxy, my number 33. You're a very aspiring person there, Z.
My number 33 is a game that I think has flown way under the radar, which is
Wingspan.
ironic because it's up in the sky. It is a
Cloud
area control
9.
game that does not look like an area. It's actually a dual area control game that does not look like it.
2-player?
No, I mean dual in the sense that there's
two areas.
2 different places in the game where you are vying for area control.
Surf and turf.
No, this is Petrichor.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait a minute, there's 2 areas?
Yeah, because you've got the main modular board where you are moving your little clouds around.
Right.
And then you've got this area here where you are determining who's going to be
Oh,
controlling.
yeah, okay, I forgot about that.
And that's a big deal because that's going to control what the next weather effect is going to be. So this is a dual area control game. I like how the different kind of crops, the places where you're trying to drop your raindrops, have different ways of scoring. I like how there is enough interaction in there where it's definitely not a game where you feel like you're playing solitaire, although it has a solitaire mode, but it's not so
shocking
in your face that people tend to be put off by it. I love the theme. I love the aesthetic of it. I like how quickly it plays. I think more people need to try this game. I really
like it. I think it's a neat theme, but top 40. Wow.
Yeah, no, I like it a lot. I've played it a bunch too, and it also has 2 expansions.
They made expansions for this?
Yeah, come on. It's this. Well, I would say it was Mind Clash. It's not Mind Clash.
No.
But it's made from the same. Wasn't it made from the same group as Mind Clash? I want to say.
Well, David Turczi is a big part of Mind Clash. David Cherkop, I don't think is. I think the only game of his I've played maybe is that the 2-player abstract, and then we held hands. I think he did that one maybe. I'm not sure.
I haven't played it. Then we have.
Yeah, but Petrichor, I
when
think
you played, it's like this, right?
Again. It's.
You would have made that joke if you had thought of it, so don't give me no face.
That's all right. But no, try Petrichor. Give it a shot. It's a really under-recognized game.
No.
Have you played it?
No.
Well, you might like it.
I'm not going to play it.
You don't want to be a cloud? What's the matter with you? What do you have against
I'm
clouds?
a little rain cloud.
This looks not attractive. I don't know.
Really? You don't like the aesthetic of that?
Garbage.
Wow, okay.
Jason also hates it, though.
Oh, interesting.
He says it's broken, but who
I would
knows?
try
He
it.
said there was a first
Sure,
player
there's a
advantage.
massive first player advantage.
All right, Roy, what do you got?
All right, my number 33 is a game I'm pretty sure the 3 of you guys haven't played.
Oh, try us.
Why
Try
are you
us.
assuming things?
This is Tsukuyomi Full Moon Down.
All right.
Put that head back on and straighten up.
This is an area control game where the different factions you can be are extremely asymmetrical, but the combat is 100% deterministic, as there's like this dragon egg. The moon has crashed into the world, and it's this dragon egg that's going to hatch out. There's all these Oni around it.
Way
Very
crazy
it is,
theme.
It is very like anime theme almost. It feels like it would be like some sort of crazy Japanese thing that's going on. But it's cool, all the different factions. I got to play the dragon faction in this, and there's like bugs, and there's like robots, and there are like pig people, and there are like land whales.
Pig people?
Like it's
I
crazy.
really want to play this. I've just been waiting for the Gray Fox version.
Right. It is really cool, and I really enjoy the standees that had the stats on it. I'll be interested to see how hard it is to play with the miniatures because the combat's so deterministic.
Speaking of which, we just added in one of our promo packs, Promo Pack D, a miniature for Tsukuyomi.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be one of the Oni, so you're going
One
to
of
be
the
able to have
small Onis, yeah.
Right,
It's
you're
an
going to be able to
alternate
have
art.
it in like all of your games. It's not going to have to be tied to specific factions.
That's
Nice.
cool. Sweet.
But yeah, I'm really excited about this game. I really want to dig into it even more, but I really enjoyed how asymmetrical the factions are because they play very differently.
I'm pumped about this
I would
one
try it
because
for
Gray
sure.
Fox is pretty high on my anything they make. I'm interested in.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Awesome.
Big people, man.
And then
Big
it's-
people.
I want the
I'm
land
calling
whales,
pig
baby.
people.
I really want to play the land whales. They seem really cool.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Hang on, let's try.
Oh, man, you win.
That is
Yeah!
Tsukuyomi
That's how you do it.
Full Moon Down.
Snort, beat scissors every time.
That was kind of creepy, yeah. All right, Tom, I was kind of leading you on there because my 33 is San Juan.
Ah, you were being coy. I see
I
what
was
you
being
did.
a fish, yes.
Oh my word! I feel.
San Juan is better. Dare I say, maybe better than Race for the Galaxy.
Pretty sure it's you 33. That's a tie.
Okay, they're the same game. And I think the design story behind it is that, from what I've read, Tom Lehman went to the company with a design and said, this is what I'm proposing
Oh, you're right.
for San Juan. And they said, we've already got Andreas Seyfarth working on one, but we will steal this one bit. Which was, the bit they stole was
the whole game.
No, the cards are also your money bit.
Ah.
Everything else was already in place.
Well, either way, both the designers are super gracious about it. They both say
They
very
are.
good things about each other. There's
Absolutely,
no.
absolutely.
I don't want to start like rumors about
No,
this.
please, no, not at all. This is the version I have of this now, the second edition of it. I think it's that one, man.
The German version?
Yeah, not the German one, but
Yeah.
the American or English printing of it, I should say. I like it quite a bit. And these days, I do like it better than Race for the Galaxy. I'll play it more often. It's a little simpler. Theme doesn't bother me. Yeah, it's kind of plain. It's kind of simplistic, but this is just a little smoother than Race. It's less thinky. If I just want to play a game that lets me strategize a little bit, consider my choices a bit, but I don't necessarily need to sit here and flex my brain and show how much smarter or more in your head I can get than you can do it to me, then this is the one I'm picking. You know, it just gets played more. That's why it's higher. And again, that's what I'm going with on my list this year. But when I look at it, when I play it, when I think about it, does it make me happier? It does. This is higher then.
There you go.
So San Juan, especially second edition, which is a great edition, by the way, my 33.
All right, the People's Choice for 33
What
is
is it?
28 last year, 39 a year before that,
Consistent.
so really consistent, according to Mike. And that's Mansions of Madness second edition.
Oh, we're going to see that later on somebody.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's for sure. Although we won't see the 32
I only had
on
40
his
games
list.
to pick from, you know. only 40.
Yeah, again, this is one that I know a lot of people
Only
like.
played 40 games.
I just saw a big thread yesterday on Facebook of some people all whining about apps and games with Dark
Oh,
Tower,
yeah,
you know, and how am I going to play a game? But do you think, Roy, that you've played this game enough to justify getting it?
The value?
already? Yes.
Yes.
Right, so
Yeah,
I don't
for
get
days.
this whole anti-app thing. If nothing else, you've played it a ton. So if you're anti-apps and games, then that's fine, I guess. Like, oh, I can't play this in 20 years. Sure, but you're also not playing it while it's out either. You're just not playing it at all. I'm going to enjoy it. I'd rather enjoy it a little bit now. That's like, I'm not going to go see that play because that play still won't be in theaters in 3 months. Whatever.
Right. You just have to
Insanity.
consider it. If it really bothers you that much, then switch your mindset and consider this a consumable product and get over it.
But
you
it's-
buy a dinner for this much.
But this
for,
has been
you know, a
out for
couple of
several
people.
years now, and the app still works.
Yeah.
And what the app has done for Mansions of Madness has been amazing. I mean, first
yeah.
edition would not, I mean, maybe it would be on the people's list this way, but I don't
No
think it
way.
I
would
don't
be.
think so, no.
It's just the fact that you can, like,
Right.
not know what's behind the doors, be able to go through the whole thing, the fact that it's, like, the app is the keeper of the game.
I'd say that Mansions of
makes
Madness
it
was
awesome.
on its way out. I mean, I honestly think that most people were kind of done playing it. This
was-
completely reinvented.
was
Oh, I don't know
massive
anyone who
amount
plays
of
the
setup.
first
Yeah,
edition.
right.
Like, I've never seen that.
Right. So
That happens with almost every second edition anyway.
Sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, for sure here. Alrighty, only two left. My number 32 is another brand new one to the list, and Z will be surprised at this one. Z does not actually like this game for whatever weird
You don't know
reason.
that.
Yeah, I do know that. This game was not in my top 10 for 2018, but has beat its way to the top through sheer accessibility. I guess this makes this my favorite quote-unquote stock market game. I already said stockpile, but I forgot this one's also kind of a stock market game, and that's Raccoon Tycoon. Really enjoy this one because this is also my highest rated game with paper money. Despite the paper money,
Yeah.
which should not be in the game. Just the really quick actions in this game. I'm a big fan of games that let you take quick actions. That's why this morning we played Foundations of Rome. I really like that. In this one, it's take some resources, or adjust the resource price going up or down, or buy one of those buildings, or start an auction. There's a lot of things in this game, paper money, auctions that are a lot of them that I normally don't like in games, but it comes together so well in this game.
Because of that cat. That's what you
Yeah.
like
It's
about
not
it.
even. I don't even like the cat. I don't know. It's a bunch of things I don't like, and yet the end product works so well.
Okay.
I was put off by the look of this game. I did play it for the first time late last year, and I really did like it. I liked it. It's so streamlined.
It didn't sound like that's where you were going.
Yeah, no, I didn't expect to like it. I did not expect it, and I didn't love it. But for this type of game, it's probably the best of this.
I
style of
really
game.
do love it. I found that I just play it more and more. It's one of those games.
I only played it, I think, once, and I played it with 2, and it was garbage.
Doesn't seem like it would be good with 2.
Then don't put it on the box.
You're right.
I'm not arguing that, but an auction game with 2 seems kind of.
That's on them. So I don't feel bad about now thinking like, maybe I should give it another chance. No, they put 2 on the box. I played it. It sucked. I'm good. If it's not for 2, then don't put it on the box.
All right, I still like it a lot. Raccoon Tycoon.
Which kind of raccoon?
The fat cat. Or the top dog. And they have all those things in there.
Those, yeah, yeah.
Play Raccoon Tycoon.
Boy, you haven't played this one?
No, I have not.
I don't know if you like it or not. So let's move on.
My number 32 is my favorite of this series of games. There's a whole series of Tiny Epic games. This is my favorite of the series, and this is Tiny...
Space one.
No, it's not actually. It's my
Quest.
second favorite.
Quest.
Tiny Epic Quest is my favorite. I really, really enjoy this
Tiny
game.
Epic Zelda?
Tiny Epic Zelda is right. I like the fact that it is a game that has two distinct phases. I like both phases. A lot of times when there's a game that has two phases, I like one and don't like the other. That's not the case here. The first phase is kind of this positioning phase where you're trying to set yourself up to get the best set up for that particular round. And then the second phase is just a push your luck game with your rolling dice.
Yeah, that's why I like it, I guess.
I mean, look, the theme I appreciate too. It definitely has the Zelda theme to it. Does it feel like Zelda? No. But
No.
what
Just realized there's almost even like a Triforce back
Oh,
there.
absolutely.
They
lean
did
way
not,
in.
they did not go subtle
no.
in this game at all.
I mean, a lot of the items are very
Yeah,
Zelda.
they
Wow,
lean way in.
man.
I mean, I'm not going to say there's an ocarina, but look, it's a really good game. I mean, it's quick.
How many players do you like playing it with?
I've played it across the player count. I played it
That's
solo,
it.
but I've played with 2, 3, and 4. I think
Here's the
only
thing, I
goes
like
to 4.
it best with two because I feel like the movement's a little chaotic with
It is.
more.
Sure it
Because
is.
there's only 4 movement cards. If I'm 2, I get 2 of them.
Right.
I like the chaos of the 4 players
shocking.
when you're like trying to race. I mean, then you're really pushing your
Right.
luck, but you're also trying to like steal things from other people.
I
which
feel
is
like
fun.
they're very different experiences at 2 and at 4, but I like both of those experiences. So yeah, I really like Tiny Epic Quest.
Well, I still haven't played Tactics. We got to get around to doing that. You
Yeah.
played it, right?
I played it when it was going on Kickstarter, so
I
me and
played
Mike
it
are
when it
trying
was
to
cool.
play it
We
this
get
week,
it.
I played a
so.
prototype too, yeah.
Roy's always like, oh, I played it before you knew about it.
I mean,
It's the
I
next game.
told
Mike.
him
Here's
after
a game none of you
shortly.
have played. Go ahead, say it.
Cool. Yeah, you guys probably
Haven't
have played
played it.
this. I don't think Mike has played it, but this is a game where you're trying to control areas on player boards, get
heard of
victory
that.
points. You're trying to collect cubes.
Victory
You're
point?
trying to collect. You walk around the board, collect cubes, load those cubes into a gun, and blast your opponents. This is adrenaline.
Oh yeah, I have not played this.
Oh,
Wow, that's a really weird description of that game.
I was trying to mess you up completely.
I took a left, like I'm suddenly like, oh yeah, we're going down this road, but something.
Well, that's kind of how this
pull out
game
and tap
is,
somebody with a cube.
because it looks like a first-person shooter, and technically it is a first-person shooter, but it's really an area control game on other people's
I
health
guess
bars.
I see. I.
It's fun because
I don't need that
I really
anymore.
enjoy the way this game works because you're running around grabbing these different guns, which is really you have to grab tons of different ammo to be able to load them into the gun to be able to play them to try to attack certain people. You don't want to attack the same person over and over again and kill them because they're going to be worth less points the more times
No,
they
I
die.
do like that. I think the
And
game's fine.
You
I'm
kind of
just-
want to control, like, have some damage on everybody so you can min-max your points across everybody. It's kind of Euro-y in a sense in that fact, but it's still a like first-person shooter themed game.
I like it. You're like, it's Euro-y, but it's still fun. I promise.
Exactly.
know, right?
I have to have a caveat. My people know.
Euro player apologist over. Come on, man.
I mean, come on. But it's really fun. I really enjoy it. And I actually think you'd like it too, Mike.
I'd
So.
give it a shot.
I think
for
you
sure.
need to play the next one, then the demon one. I can't remember.
Yeah, I hadn't heard a whole lot of good stuff from that though.
Sanctum, maybe?
Sanctum.
Most
Sanctum.
people like.
I
don't
thought
know.
it was good.
Your review said it was okay.
That is not what my review said. Go ahead, your turn.
All right, my number 32 here is Seven Wonders. We've talked about it a lot. Seven Wonders is still good, y'all.
The drafting game?
The drafting game.
See, now I'm
Yeah.
wondering, have you so far mentioned Duel?
No.
Okay.
Yes, it's higher.
No, I mean it might not be on your list.
I
There's
like
other
it
options.
better. Yes, it's higher for sure. Seven Wonders is still a very good game, and it stands on its own. Absolutely. So does Duel, of course. But this is at this point 8 years old, something like that. This came out. That sounds about right. About
it sounds about
8 or 9 years
It was
old.
2 or 3, right? That's
And it's just, I would
12
consider
or
it at
13,
this
sorry.
point a staple of the hobby. I really would.
Wow, this went up. This was your 57 last year, said
Oh,
people.
really? Wow. Okay.
With or without expansions.
I like the leaders by far the most.
Okay.
Which was the first expansion.
This is
actually.
different because we definitely differ on expansion.
Yeah, you
My
like
favorite
cities.
is cities. To me is almost just like
You like Babel the most?
Babel's my favorite. Well, the Great Works part of Babel
Okay.
Sure,
more than
okay.
Babel.
Right.
And then cities. I haven't had enough experience with the newest one. The newest one almost felt like, wow, it's really cool. And then the second time you play, you're like, that's cool, but man, it's a lot of extra stuff.
I like the new one as long as it's largely about that. I wouldn't combine too many of these things.
Oh, I wouldn't do
For
that
me,
at all,
it's-
right?
Yeah.
For me, the expansion's leaders, maybe Babel after that, or the extra monuments, which I don't really consider an expansion on its own. But then the new one, yeah, it's up there for me. The new one with all the ships and everything. Anyway, yeah, this is great. This was actually 32 was the only number so far where I think I disliked all the choices around the table.
Wow.
Including your own?
Including your own?
Self-loathing?
No, because Raccoon Tycoon I didn't like.
Did you play Tiny Epic Quest?
Tiny
He
Epic
played it
Quest
with
I
me.
played.
It's my fault.
Okay.
Didn't like it that much. I thought it was repetitive and not.
He said it was the person that taught him.
I'm real picky
you
with
know.
those games,
Yeah,
though.
that's fine.
I like the space one, and that's pretty much it. And then Adrenaline, I don't like.
Well, guess what? People's choice. I don't remember if you like it or not.
Galaxy Trucker. If you tell me it's Galaxy Trucker, I'll jump across the table.
No, it's Splendor.
Sponder's all right.
Yeah.
Okay, Splendor. This was 32 last year for People's Choice.
That is
Year before
so
that, it
weird.
was 17. No, it's definitely not the hottest gateway game around anymore. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see it eventually fall off just because other things are replacing it.
Hey, but now
it's still,
Marvel's coming out, right? Isn't that?
That's right.
Yes, that's
Marvel.
The stupidest theming I've seen since Star Wars Carcassonne. Who was sitting around going, you know, I like Splendor?
They saw those gems and they're like, they look like Infinity Stones.
Is that
Maybe
is that what it is?
Maybe that's what it is. Yeah.
Ah, my word.
You are Thanos in the game, trying to collect the Infinity Stones, but maybe spending them for a mule cart
You spin them.
or something.
You spin them to create heroes. I don't know.
You know what? I'm gonna get the Marvel version and play it. Is it out already?
No,
think
no,
so.
not yet.
They were definitely demoing it at
I saw it at Gen Con.
PAX and Gen Con, and both times I was like, yeah, let me take a look at that.
so goofy.
I know
Hey,
what it is.
whatever,
I don't
man.
need to look at it. Okay.
Make money.
So weird. All right, one more. Here we go. Told you all these would be shorter. All right.
Oh, jeez, I feel super bad, man.
I don't feel bad at all. My number 31 was 17 last year, 54 the year before that. Of the 10 games I mentioned today, actually that's not true. I was just about to say this is the one I'm the best at, but I'm also really good at race and Puerto Rico.
Wow.
No, of the 100 games on my list, there's like 6 I'm
He's over
good
there
at.
like,
No, so
great
no,
job, good
no,
job.
no, no. But this one I've lost. Oh, this is not nothing humble about this. I've lost this game once, and I
Played it once.
nah. This is a team effort game, and that is Captain Sonar.
Then I'm really good at this game, too, by that definition.
That's true.
It's been almost always with me, I think, when we wreck house. I love that. That's my favorite thing by far about this silly game. Is that sitting there, usually with you, you're a captain, I do the sonar bit. And it's always like, every now and then you're like, you know where they are? I'm like, I got it. Like, stop! Where are they? Right there. Fire! And then it works, I just get excited.
It's such a good feeling
Yeah,
too,
it's a
and
good
it's also
feeling.
when they say stop, and you're like,
You're holding your breath.
everyone be quiet, maybe they won't know where we're at.
Yeah.
It's a crazy game, and I still remember the first time we played it, and I was like, oh my, because I had really been enjoying Space Cadets Dice Duels, and I was like, I'll probably never play Space Cadets Dice Duels again, and I didn't. I've never played it since then.
Wow.
This game is just, it's the best 4v4 game I played, even more than Memoir. I really like Captain Sonar.
It's an experience game for sure.
I've also never lost at it. I've never played it. I need to play
Yeah,
it.
this is a game that you cannot play solitaire.
when did you actually lose?
I was at the Geekway to the West in 2018 or 2018. It was no, it was 2018.
And he fell asleep.
No. I went there and I got a team of people I did not know, which was my first mistake. They fine, and then we played and we lost, and I was like, rematch, and then we won, and I was like, all right, we're done.
That's how you do
My
it.
score's still pretty high.
All right, well, my number 31 is a crossover with something from Roy's list today. Roy, tell me what it is. What's my number 31?
Of the ones that was already on Roy's list?
It's on
31?
Roy's list
Please
today,
be Tales of Arabian Nights.
Nah, I
Get
Get
doubt
ready,
it.
Zeke.
Hilarious.
Buckle in.
Unmatched?
It's not. He's trolling.
It is not unmatched. It is Rising Sun.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Rising Sun is a
all
game
right, yeah.
that, you know what I like about Rising Sun, and you could say this about some of
Nice components.
Eric Lang's other games too, and that's true. But you put it out on the table, and it looks at first blush to be overwhelming, convoluted, and bloated, and it is anything but. I think his games pare down to core mechanisms. Honestly, my least favorite part of Rising Sun, sometimes, this is what my least favorite part of Rising Sun is what it was billed as, which is a negotiation game.
Agreed, 100%.
Right.
I
That's
think they oversold
They
this
absolutely
being a diplomacy game.
It's not.
I don't think
There's
that's
a tiny bit in there, but not
Tiny bit.
much.
You could almost completely ignore that and still have.
And I do.
Yeah, and that's my least favorite part.
That's why
of the
he's
game.
never in an alliance.
But obviously, the other parts of the game I think are spectacular. It's just so smooth. You know. It looks great on the table. It plays for a game of this type relatively quickly. It's a pretty snappy game. You know, obviously the components are through the roof, as a lot of the Command games are. And this one is another one that surprised me with how much I liked it. I used to think I wasn't a huge area control fan, and then I would go through my list. I'm like, that's an area control game. That's an area control. But they tend to be ones that are quick and snappy, and they don't. This game doesn't seem to induce analysis paralysis in a lot of people. You pretty much are like, okay, I want to do this round, I want to do this round, and you just do it and you go, and you know exactly where the battles are going to be. You go boom, 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 boom. You have your 3 battles and you move on. I really like
That's
Rising
true.
Sun.
You can see the plan, you know.
Yeah.
And then you kind of follow it, but it doesn't feel scripted.
No, at all.
Right.
So, I really enjoy it.
That's interesting.
Nice. My 31 is, I guess, it's a game where you gather resources and turn those resources into other resources.
No,
and
don't
then
even,
get
you can't do this game twice. We're not
This
believing
is
you.
definitely a lightweight Euro game that's really quick, and that is Century, specifically the Crystal Golem version. I really enjoy Century Crystal Golem, and I really,
Golem,
and this is
I think.
Is it
Golem
Golem or
Edition.
I say golem? Oh, now I don't know. Gollum.
People
Yeah.
get
Okay.
trouble last time. I'm looking at it.
I say Gollum. Yes.
Whatever.
As opposed
Anyway,
to what? Golem? Sorry.
Golem. It's like, you know. Anyway,
Golem.
Oh.
There you go. Golem.
boom. Y'all come at me and like, oh, Roy doesn't know how to pronounce fantasy things.
I wasn't saying anything. It's you.
Whatever. Okay, anyway, I really enjoy this game. I love how fast it is, how fast the turns are. I love that you're kind of like engine building with the cards you have. You're switching out the different
Oh, yeah,
resources.
yeah. You just go.
You just go, and it's really fun the way that it turns out. You're racing for the points. I love the fact that sometimes you can build to where you have the one that's like the next one that's gonna be worth a ton of victory
the one
points.
you want to go for.
But then you just kind of like hold it back and don't actually like grab it. So it's like forcing other people to figure out if they want to spin theirs and grab stuff at a lower value, and then you're like, now. Like right when someone's on the edge of being able to grab those points. I don't know. There's a lot of interesting strategies in this game, and it's really quick and really fun, and I've enjoyed it a
quick,
lot.
yeah.
It is, yeah.
So
Good choice.
that is why Century Golem is my number 31.
Now I don't know. Anything.
What about the one in? But I think it's Lord of the Rings.
I was
He's
gonna
called
say,
Gollum.
what's the character in Lord of the Rings?
Yes.
Gollum?
Yes.
But it's
Which
Golem.
is not a creature made out of stone.
thing brought to life.
All right, I ain't doing this.
Century. Someone
I
says
don't
Century
picky,
Smeagol
okay?
edition coming soon.
I don't picky this language. So, my 31 is also a drafting game. That's a lot of drafting games. Jeez,
What's the matter with you?
what am I doing? You guys
Paper Tales.
probably haven't played this, huh? What did you say?
I was gonna say Paper Tales.
No. This is a Japanese design, got reprinted by Pegasus, I believe. And it's called Sheep and Thief. Sheep and Thief, that's obviously the Pegasus printing. Gorgeous, cute artwork. And in it, you are drafting, then displaying those cards.
There's such a lack of
one with
urgency
the
in
little
that
cotton
picture.
balls?
I know.
The
The original
walking
printing
along.
Okay.
Now, the Japanese printing had little fluff balls to represent your sheep.
Okay.
I had that for a while. It was very cute. Now it looks like that.
Oh, okay.
And in it, you are, again, drafting cards. You're going to play them out on a board in a grid. And you are building paths to connect from your starting location to different cities at the edges of the board. You are also populating your board with sheep. and protecting them from a wandering fox. And you are building rivers. As you can see there, a couple of river pieces. There's actually an illegal placement right there, because that river piece in the second card from the top that has a river across it should not be touching the card next to it, because the rivers, unlike the roads, cannot break placement side by side. The road you can. So you can chop off a road and not have it go anywhere. But the river's harder to place. So it has to touch other river pieces or go off the board. So they're worth a bunch of points.
This was your 34 last year. It's pretty close.
Wow, that is almost the exact same thing. I like this game a lot. The fact that it's fluffy and cute and adorable doesn't hurt. It's easy to teach, and most people kind of get into that part of it. It's cutesy, but it's also a good game. And much like Paper Tales, you play 3 rounds in this one. You draft, then play, score at the end. It's real quick. It gets to it. There's not a lot of. It's not overwrought. There's no pretentiousness to it. This is what I'm delivering. That's what you get. 30 minutes, you're done. I really like this one. I think you would too if you haven't played it.
No, I've wanted to ever since I saw the little puff balls.
Those are cute. They rolled around a bit,
okay.
but it was a cute game. This printing is much more high quality.
Okay. I'd
So there you go.
Love to play it.
Sheep and Thief, my 31.
And the final game of today is the People's Choice 31, which was 62 last year. So that means it's gone up by half.
Twice as good.
Twice as good as
That's
last year.
because the other game, the previous edition, was going down last year, and this one was moving up. They pass each other. The other one hasn't shown up anymore because
That's
it's now been
impossible.
replaced. No. Like this
I
is
know
the.
what you mean. Just say it.
It's TI4, Twilight Imperium
Oh.
4th edition.
Wow.
Wow,
that
this
possible?
high, huh?
No, because
What?
On the
This high?
On the people's list. This is to me.
You're
this
not
is
strong enough.
This is a
How
lifestyle
many
game.
people
What do you
who
mean I'm not
voted on
strong
this have played it to completion?
That's what I'm getting at. I mean,
Are you serious?
6.
It's a week-long game. Isn't
You
it?
realize that
You
most
can
people that
play
put this
this
on their
every
list,
Don't
day.
ignore the
this is
trolls.
their
Once a week.
Ignore the
favorite
stupid
game
trolls.
of all time. Like it's got to be
Yeah.
rated like number one,
We
number
gotta,
one, number one.
we in our game group, on our Saturday meetups, almost every Saturday meetup, like 6 guys come. I never see them any other time. I don't see them play anything else ever, and they play TI4. They play it. They drag 2 tables, wasting 2 tables. We play it. They're there the whole game.
Wait.
They're not
2
wasting 2 tables. They're using 2 tables other people could be using.
They're hogging 2 tables. Yeah.
That's
That's it.
what I meant.
Right.
They're creating
Anyway, I'm just-
epic space experiences that
And
you
then
know
they go
nothing
home.
about.
And I know people love this game. Last year, I think Twilight Imperium 3 was still being played, so the votes were split.
Yeah, but now it's
Now the 3rd is out. I mean, I'm amazed that they have not announced an expansion for this. It makes more sense now that Chris Peterson's left the company and that's his game.
Well, Christian and Corey are both gone now, and they were the designer and like expansion designer.
That's the thing, though. Even though I think this is a better version of the original one, there's still stuff in TI3 that I would miss. in the
I am
expansions.
hoping
You like
that they
TI3
bring
better?
it. But
No, I like
Have
TI4
you played
better.
this?
Yes, once. I like this one better, but I'm saying there's a few things that they did in the original one, like
You mean in 3?
in 3. Yeah, the original one. You're right.
Yeah.
That was a
There's
while
a few
ago.
things they did in 3 that I wouldn't have minded them bringing on board here, and they just haven't got around to it. Like, is it not Mechathorax? What's the planet that makes the Super Troopers?
Hope's End.
Hope's End. Hope's End isn't in 4 yet. I wish it had been. But I just assumed they would add it in an expansion. But it hasn't happened yet.
I think I'll wait for 5th edition myself.
So
All right.
what you're saying is if they come out with a 5th edition, you'll play it.
Yes.
Would you
waiting.
play Twilight Imperium the roll and write?
Probably not.
I believe
that
this
sounds awful.
This was like I think a hoax going around the web a few weeks ago.
Tiny Epic Twilight Imperium. I'm in on that.
TI Express, maybe. Twilight Imperium Express, maybe.
Alrighty, well that's it, folks. Our top 40 through 31. You asked for it. You're getting it.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
so 2 things tomorrow, or 3 things. Tomorrow we'll be back in the morning for Board Game Breakfast live. Come join in. Game shows aplenty, or at least 2. And then later on in the day, we're going to do the next segment as we're in the top third from 30 to 21. This time it will be 20 minutes.
Longer.
Per number.
And then the third thing is check out our Kickstarter, DicetowerKickstarter.com. We appreciate all the support, of course. Thank you all. We'll see you all tomorrow. Until then, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Mike Delisio.
I'm Roy Canning.
I'm Z Garcia.
Oh, have fun gaming.